Are you ready? The Sid.
Unfortunately, yes.
Give me a little beat.
Better be ready. I mean, we got some special guests on this week, and they're no stranger to controversy, so they'll fit right in, right? Space Reptile, are you ready? I hope so. So we're going to be laying down the bombs tonight. Clippy, we're ready for you. We expect a lot of comments tonight and questions for these boys, so chat, you better stay active for us. Are you excited about tonight?
Oh my god.
You know I am. So, I mean, we all are bred and true about, controversy and all. Hydra has been its pot stirrer for a long time. So, if you look to my right here, left, we got Zach and Sid from that team with Blue. I think it's called RIPtide. You guys might have heard of it before, right? Why don't you two introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Sid. I'm the electronics lead, or one of, and the weapons operator for RIPtide. And yeah, it's my second year on the team. Yeah, it's nice to be here.
And Zach, what about you?
Yeah, so I'm Zach, and I also work on the electronics and take care of all the manufacturing of parts for the bot.
And of course, you guys all know the guy below me, right?
I'm Reese. This is my first year on RIPtide. A pleasure to be here.
And in the middle, you have Trevor, and he doesn't even get a title anymore, folks. So we're just going to go with Rachel now.
Just Rachel.
Yeah, right?
I'm just around.
She went back to her normal. You got Terry, the head man of Team Whyachi, right?
Yeah.
Down below, we have Dick, the pump guy. He's the guy that runs the stream, and he helps us get our social media out there because we wouldn't be able to do this without him. And, of course, somebody new down below. Who could that be? Is that the King of England?
New king. That's a Prince Albert.
We've had a marvelous day here in England, and what better way to round off a coronation than with a Whyachi stream? We are big fans of BattleBots here at the Windsor household. In fact, me and Mumsy, we were talking about giving Team Whyachi a knighthood if they bring home the giant nut.
Ooh, a nuthood.
Wow.
A nuthood.
Nice.
Hey, how old are you, King? What's your age?
Oh, so
No,
the king had to leave. It's me. It's Tom again.
Yeah, that's we're asking you, Tom.
Let's switch it out to Dick now. Dick, what are we gonna go over tonight? What do you got in store for us?
What we're gonna do is we're gonna go over Sid and Zach. We're gonna ask them about their childhood and their hobbies off stream and BattleBot. Everything but BattleBots is what we're gonna do. We good
That
with
sounds delicious. It really does. I mean, I'm sure this will, descent into turmoil as we get along. But sure, what do you got for questions for him, Dick?
I've only got a couple jokes lined up.
I don't have any questions. What do you mean?
Oh, no, nothing at all. Well, let's start with the whole. How you guys doing today, Sid and Zach? What are you guys doing?
Doing good.
Good, yeah.
Yeah. Just sat down, had food, done nothing else.
How do you like your steaks?
medium.
Okay. Okay.
I
Not
usually
big
go
steak
for
guy,
chef
to be honest,
recommendation.
What about your meat pies?
Yeah.
You gonna
Zach, are
tell them about your
still
meat
on the
pie?
West Coast?
Do you guys know about my meat pie?
Don't
No.
do the meat pie.
No.
Should we have?
Well, basically, I just cook up like
He
last
makes
time it was like
meatloaf.
It's
And he
meat.
calls
it's
it a pie.
not
meatloaf.
meatloaf.
It's meatloaf.
I sometimes I do it in a pie pan just to appeal you people. All right,
Mm-hmm.
but
You need
yeah,
a
it's
crust
just
for it to be a
meat.
pie.
I'm on a weird diet where I can only eat meat and a couple vegetables.
Perfect. We got an actual real question here. So,
Ooh.
what's the difference between RIPtide this year and last year? Any big changes?
For the most part,
Everything.
yeah. I mean, everything kind of changed. It got redesigned, but if I had to name like the biggest few things, weapons heavier, weapon spins faster. The robot got thicker a bit, just in every way. So
It's
more-
15% bluer as well.
Yeah, the weapon is actually
Little
fully
darker.
blue this time, so big, huge. The blue, I think the most important thing is that the blue is now it's like more overhaul blue than it is our last year blue, which is really cute.
I don't know if you want to go that blue. That's the wrong type of blue to go.
Well, I think if you
Wonderful
balance
cat
it
ears
enough,
of
you know,
really
I
young
think.
girlfriend.
So can
Yeah.
you go over what kind of motors and controls you have in there running the
Yeah.
weapon?
So the weapon runs revolts.
It's almost the same blue, see?
Yeah, it's close
Yeah.
enough. We run revolts, 2 on the weapon, and then we have Vesk 75-300s. So pretty bog standard configuration, to be honest. It's the same
And
weapon motors that Kevin runs on his drive for
Mhm.
Thought Viper. It's just he's got 4 of them. So
What motors you have on your drive?
just short mags and the Banebox. gearbox.
Oh, conventional.
So that's
Yeah.
why it's reliable.
Reliability.
Uh-huh.
Can't mess something up if you just copy what worked, right?
Yep.
So
I mean, Bite Force did it for how many years? So why not?
Exactly.
So what?
And I
so what
mean-
sort of diameter is the weapon and the weight?
It's about, I think, like 13. I think it's 13 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the weight is, I don't know. Maybe Zach can correct
It's
me.
like,
It's like
I think it's 70
I-
pounds.
I heard 65 from Ethan.
65.
I think it was
Yeah.
56.
I know when Ethan was next to me and he was trying to lift it, he was having a hard time by himself. So it's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So the bearings you're running, you were having some issues this
Yeah.
season.
Well, I mean, it's funny because compared to last year, they're a lot better. We had last year we started off with the spherical rollers because Yeti recommended them to us, and we just put 2 in, and they were like, "Listen, we've used these 2 for how many ever years we've been competing, never had a problem." And then we put 2 of them in. We ran against we ran against Huge, and they shattered like first hit. So we were like, "Oh, maybe can't use that."
There's
And we
a
tried-
little bit of power difference there, though, right?
Yeah, a little bit. And then we switched to cylindricals, and those lasted a bit longer. And then this year we've switched to needle roller bearings. And those, while they still break, they at least they keep the weapon running. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many weapons did you make?
we have 4.
You have 4 of them.
So you came to the event with 4.
Yep.
That's
Yeah.
a good enough number, I would assume.
What's the manufacturing process for that? Is that water jet and machine, or is it billet?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is actually a part that we get from our sponsor, Xometry. And so the process is they have a big piece of billet, they rough it out on the water jet, and then they machine it down. And then, we try to touch it up between matches when we have to.
Yeah.
And so, we'll try to add a little bit of hard facing to it and then grind it down to keep the edge sharp.
Yep.
We
And then it comes from a place like us, unmarked box that's
Yeah.
has only Xometry labels on it.
Yeah. The mystery box from Xometry.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So how long have you guys been running with Xometry then? It'll be 2 years with this sponsor?
Yeah,
I
2
think
years.
Our first year, Ethan just cold emailed the one of the VPs or something of Xometry, and it worked. And then they were like, okay, we'll sponsor you guys. And then yeah, I mean they've been great since. So it's been really really helpful.
Hey guys, what is this that is coming out of uppercut
Uppercut?
here? Like
Foam
everywhere.
out of tires.
Foam.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
according to some other, I don't know, some other team mentioned, but like I think actually the Hypershot guys were talking about this, but if you use like the wrong kind of foam in the tires, instead of like staying like springy, it just kind of like clumps up, and then once you
Yep.
hit it, it just turns into
Hardens.
sand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what Uppercut was running. But yeah.
Is there any time in a match where you're not going full speed? Do you slow it down and lessen the gyros?
yeah, so generally we start off a match, like, I mean, it depends on who it is, of course, but we'll usually start off a little lower, you know, a good amount lower than full speed, and then usually, I mean, for us, the hits, I mean, the first hit or two decides the match. So we
Yep.
just try to clip an offside, get them destabilized, and then once they're like kind of floundering, I'd turn it up, and then even goes for like the actual kill shot.
Go for the
So,
kill.
so you're running like what, 60% green when the green
Yeah.
light comes on?
Around there.
What kind of transmitter do you have? Receiver too.
Ooh, we run an FR Sky X Lite. It's like the one that they actually just look like the gaming controllers. Like they don't look like the big boxes that everyone else runs. Some people have had problems with them. I don't know. We've been fine. And then on the receiver, we're running an X8R Pro for drive, and then another X8R Pro for weapon. So they're separate.
So a little redundancy.
Hey, if you're spinning at your top end, does that make it drive really bad? Is it like winging up all the time and stuff?
We can turn. I mean, the turning radius is definitely worse. You can see it in matches when sometimes we'll be chasing someone and then we have to turn, like, pivot really quickly. So on big pivots, we'll gyro up, but for the most part, it's like fairly drivable at full speed.
Magnets? You got magnets?
No,
No
Can-
magnets.
Can you self-right by gyroing?
I never tried it. The only way we've ever had to self-right is by slamming into the side of the thing, and then that was a little bit of a mistake on my
Can you
part.
reverse the direction of the weapon when you're upside down?
Yeah. Yeah, we can.
It does seem to have a ridiculously fast spin up time, though. Why is that?
Mhm.
And why does it not start on fire like Reese, like Fusion?
Well, Reese is just, his robot's too compact. I mean, I don't know. We got a bunch of empty space in ours.
Yeah.
So a lot of spaghetti you can fit in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot of
Yeah.
wires taking up the space, but Reese just has metal. Like, I don't know.
Hey, Sid
Yeah.
or Zach, on this first hit, did you get out RPM'd here? Look, watch this first hit.
Oh
I
yeah.
think so.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. I think we might have been going for like the more maneuverability strat there, and like weren't trying to take a weapon on weapon. And then after this, I think I turned it up. I started turning it up, and then Ethan kind of pulls a pro gamer move and like slips the fork underneath their fat fork, and then it goes pretty well for us from there. But yeah, that was a little scary, actually.
So if you were
'cause
to build a different bot-
that first hit can totally determine the rest of the match. And you guys lost it, but rebounded pretty nicely.
I think
So
it's one
if-
of the nice things. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you finish.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I think one of the nice things about our robot is that it's just so wide. Like when we land, like you land, like most robots, I think when they turn like 45 degrees or like 40 degrees up like that, and they land, they're always like a little rocky. But we just land flat, and then we're ready to go again. So
How wide is the wheelbase?
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Probably
like
around
your body, a little
30.
wider than your body.
32.
You
Like
picked it up, right?
28
Like
inches.
this big. I don't know.
2 feet or so, sure.
Yeah, probably about there.
hmm
Yeah.
So if you had to build a bot,
Fusion's 2 feet.
would RIPtide be the bot that you try to design to beat, or would there be a different style bot that you guys would try to actually design against?
Like if we were to build another robot to beat RIPtide.
How
Yeah,
would you
or
beat
or
Riptide?
if you were going to make a new bot, would RIPtide be your template to what you have to try to beat,
He wants
like your top bot.
He wants you to decide to trade for Hydra.
Yes. Go ahead. Yes, please.
I really like RIPtide's design right now. Like I think it's a really, really promising design. I don't think it's been like optimized as far as it could go. My answer to this is just me. If I had to build another robot and it was just like, I could do whatever I wanted and someone else is paying for it and I didn't have to worry about, I didn't have to get a job, I would want to make a melty, like just me, because I think that it would be pretty cool. And I don't know. I don't think that people use software enough. Like I feel like they should rely on it more. I think it would work out really well, but I don't know.
I can kind of answer this. I don't think we really care that much about seeding. What do you guys think? I mean, does number one mean that much to you?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ahead,
It's kind of voodoo math. I'm not sure if we even know exactly how they rank these things, and I honestly I don't pay much attention to it, and I never really have.
Well,
really with this day and age with the bots, it really doesn't matter at all. I mean, what matters more is that initial matchup that they put you up against.
The rock paper scissors effect. You could have your kryptonite be the 31 seed and be, complete kicking.
I mean, we were like on interview. Obviously, we were like, yeah, we should be the first seed. We've had 4 straight knockouts, but like, I mean, we saw Minotaurs, like we saw their strength schedule, like it was no joke. So we weren't expecting number 1 at all. But
I would have gave you a number 1 because
it's really a toss-up.
To pretty much knock out everybody in like a minute. That's more dominant than whatever Minotaur could have done.
Yeah, I don't think that our strength of schedule was close to hard, because who did Minotaur play? They played Tantrum. They played Cobalt. Yeah, that was fire. They played Minotaur. Like all of those are like easily top 10, top 5. So I think there's a difference.
Not this season. No. Some of those weren't.
So we're going through the fights. We're gonna watch this one here. I don't know if you guys heard our opinion of this, but I think we thought that it was not out of bounds. I said I wouldn't have taken some of the last ones just because I wouldn't want to ruin my bot. But
well, that leads us right into: have you guys ever watched our stream before? Do you know what you're in for?
I saw clips and I watched like 30 minutes. Zach?
Yeah, I watched the last one you guys did with Bunny.
Oh, okay. So she's what got you on the stream then. Not us at all.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Okay.
Yeah, where is she?
Was it early or late? Because late it can get a little helter skelter.
It can get dicey, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, this is actually really good work. These soft shots, that's the move. Like you were taking some hard ones earlier, but this corralling soft shots that Ethan's taken here.
I mean,
these little ones, that's the move.
Our like game plan in there was, we thought as soon as if we like, even if we spin it like half, we'd be able to like hit something and we just wanted to stop them from spinning as soon as we could, or like slow them down.
Yeah.
So
and Shredder does a really good job kind of swerving around us.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually, it looks like a very hard bot to control. But they make it work.
No, we're very impressed with that.
His driving style fits the bot really well. I mean, he's aggressive when he needs to be, and he's right on point on his moves.
Yeah.
I have a question. Could you guys see from here? I think you're over by Rip or Shatter, or oh my gosh, you're over by Shred's corner, right? So is it hard?
I think we were on like, actually I don't exactly know where we were standing, but like you can see like one of the shots where all of us are like, our entire team is like leaning over because it's so hard to see. I'm pretty sure we could see like once we pushed Shred into the corner, like the only robot we could see was ours, and like we could see parts of Shred and we could see that they were moving, but we couldn't see like what their robot looked like or anything.
You can't see it. Sure.
Yeah.
Are you looking at the Shred Rater team at all?
That's pretty much what we got out of it too when we seen this match the first time. Was it's really difficult from where you're standing there as drivers into that corner to see anything.
And the shrapnel that you get yelled at for hitting, you can see it right in front of RIPtide. Are you watching this? RIPtide's turning around to go to its corner. Right there, it hits the piece of shrapnel.
Yeah.
I think they're yelling at you for hitting.
Yeah.
Oh, they should yell at Shredderator for losing it. No.
Yeah, they did. So like, I don't know. The ref was like, I don't know. Someone says like, oh, like this was unnecessary damage, and then the ref was like, yeah, we warned them, and like, I don't know why they put it in like that the way they did, because we hadn't been warned for like damage or anything before that. It was just
you were warned about hitting shrapnel, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like 99% sure that that's what they're talking about, and like maybe the ref and like the Shredder member had like a little bit of a miscommunication, because I'm the only thing we'd been talked to by the refs were when we hit like the metal after the Mad Catter fight. So yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, with the Shredderator fight, the audience hears the audio. The television audience hears the audio, and it sounds real good, real crisp. I mean, when you're actually in the box and you're driving, I mean, you've got the noise from the audience, you've got the noise from the bots. It's impossible to hear, what's going on next door.
Totally.
It's you totally can't hear anything.
Yeah, and you guys have probably heard our robot. Like, it is extremely loud,
Yeah.
and it was basically
when
on
you're-
our
when
side of the
you're-
wall.
Zach,
When
you
you're
have
focused
long.
on the fight, you just block everything out anyway.
Yeah, like
so
there was
it's-
no.
Yeah.
Like we weren't really trying. I mean, of course, if we had heard the Shred team say anything, we would have totally stopped. Like, there's no question about that. But it's just when you're playing the fight, and when you're looking at your robot, and you're just your goal in that moment is just, I need to hit them until they stop moving. You're not really trying to listen for anything else. So I think it's unfortunate.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's sort of the Ray Billings protocol. If you want to end the fight early, the best way to do it is to just power down your robot and to power down your spinner.
for any.
You mean actually stop moving?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did it against Huge. I mean, I could still drive half my bot, but my top was gone, my batteries were exposed. Why the fuck would I move after that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
What was the conversation with the Shredderator team after the fact? Because we saw a little bit on TV, but
it was
probably not the full extent.
really brief. I mean, we Stan talked to the Shred team afterwards, but it was mostly just like, hey, like, we didn't know that you guys wanted to stop. We just, we didn't hear you guys, and I think it was just around that. I think it was just basically that, and then we didn't talk much else. I think they mentioned that like one of our members went over to ask them, do you guys need any help? Can we help you out? I don't know who it was, to be honest. I think it might have been Brandon. It wasn't me.
Hey, Zach.
Yeah.
Zach, is that blue hair of yours? Is it still blue?
No, we're at a teal now. I found a different color. But there's still a little color there.
All right. You don't put that up in a bun at all, do you?
No.
I think someone was asking what came
So
first,
what do you
type
got?
blue.
Do you use Head and Shoulders Troy Polamalu? What do you got for product?
Well, I found out that you need to use conditioner. That's actually the secret.
Chicks keep
That's a real
telling me
thing?
that. And only the tips.
Conditioner?
Only the tips. Don't put it on
you
your
gotta-
scalp. Only
Yes,
the tips.
correct. The ends need the conditioner.
Yeah.
So
wanna
were you
follow
guys on
that,
any
though.
other teams coming up to before you were on RIPtide?
This is a Zach question.
Oh, just this is
Well,
your first year then?
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't been on BattleBots before. Ethan and I met during like high school world championships for Vex Robotics, and then I built a Beetle my freshman year of college just for fun, and I think I posted like a 30-second video of it on YouTube, and then Ethan was like, "Hey, I want to build a Beetle. Could you help me out?" And back then, it was so funny. This is not a dig, but like it was just so funny because Ethan was like showing me CAD, and I'd look at it, and he'd be like, "So this will work, right?" And I'll be like, "Ethan, where are your weapon bearings?" And he'll be like, "What? What are those? What do you mean? What do you mean I need bearings?" And I was like, "Dude, you can't just spin a weapon on a shaft. You got to put something in between. You got to have a bushing. You got to have a bearing." And he was like, "Oh, that's a good point." And then we went from that to a year later. Ethan was like, "Hey, I applied for BattleBots and we got in. Do you want to join the team?" So I don't know.
Oh, so this was not that long ago.
No, I mean it was like
Wow.
summer 2021, May 2021. Yeah. Zach though's got a big history.
Is that so? Tell us your beginnings.
I used to do a lot of competing in robo games. And then I did Devil Dag, I did Sharko.
You were on Sharko?
Yeah, with Ed. It was a real
with Ed.
sad problem when John passed away. When John passed, Ed had this half finished robot, and he was looking for some help to get it running and take it to BattleBots, and I was like, yeah, for sure, and John helped me a lot when my first year at BattleBots, and so anyway, it was really sad when he passed.
Are you still out in California, or are you back in Wisconsin now?
I bounce around. I've been traveling a lot over the past 6 months or so, spending a lot of time in Illinois, spent some time in California.
What's your favorite spot?
Oh, I have, the weather is definitely nice in Cali, but I have a special spot for the Midwest. I haven't visited your guys' shop. I'll have to come over sometime when I'm up there.
I was going to say, when's the last time you've been to Wisconsin?
Yeah.
He never came back,
yeah,
probably.
I'll come say hi.
Wait a couple of months yet till it gets above 65.
No, that's prime weather. Once it gets above 75, once it gets above 75, it starts getting humid, and it's just not fun. Not fun. Not for me.
Yeah.
And the cats.
Lots of cats, yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of chat. We got to diverse here a little bit and go back to Sid. Sid, you were muted on BattleBots, the OOTA.
Oh God.
And we don't need to necessarily go too deep into it, but you were muted, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
so
it was kind of both parts of this question. I mean, it was almost to try to keep you from just getting pounded on by other people, is what I took it as.
So I was getting right after the episode aired, I was getting some questions about what happened, and I would look in there, and originally I wasn't planning on saying anything because I didn't know what the episode was like, and then the episode aired, and BattleBots totally went, "Oh, we actually don't know if they were cheating or not. Who knows? Who's to say?" And then people were like, "Oh my God, they were cheating!" And I was like, "Holy shit!" BattleBots just totally, left.
Threw you under the bus?
Yeah, they kind of threw us under the bus.
I know the feeling. Yeah.
And so I was like, wait. I can't just not say anything. Like, if I leave this until the Whyachi stream, people are just gonna, circulate and just let it sit, and people are gonna be like, well, why didn't they comment if they were,
The couch warriors reciprocating and feeding into the blatant lies is what causes a lot of the problems, really, is what I found out.
Yeah. So I was, at first I just, I tried to clear the air, and then people would ask questions, and I would respond to the questions, and then I would joke around, and I'd be like, yeah, maybe in hindsight, maybe I shouldn't have joked around as much as I did or been as sarcastic as I was, but yeah, that was not well appreciated. And they were like, you should pause. And I was like, okay. So
it's hard to win in those situations, and it's hard to walk away from it too without commenting.
That's kind of what I've learned is you probably should just step away, but it's when you see those comments, you're like, ooh, Like I don't want to.
Even as much as a few hours ago, it was kind of yourself and Ben Burton versus Hypershock and everybody else.
I don't know. I think that like there's valid points to be made about like the whole like situation and what we could have done differently. But like yeah, some people, I mean, some things were just going out of hand. I think that like, you know, the conversation a couple hours ago wasn't that uncivil. It was just it wasn't as bad as it was previously. So
Well, is it really all this? Is it really what is the issue? Is this the issue?
Hey, yeah. So basically, for everyone that doesn't know what actually happened, we've been doing these like fun walkouts for like the last, you know, for our last like 4 fights, and you know you can see them. Like we've always tried to do something fun, and we have this like pickaxe that like Zach has been using to press the buttons, and like he's been holding it around. We hold it on camera. It's in our team picture. And so we were like, you know, it'd be funny is if we taped our hammer to the front of our weapon for the walkout, so that we could like pretend to be a hammer robot. Yeah, it's this pickaxe right here. And so we were like, you know, it'd be funny is if we taped it to the front of our robot for the walkout. So we started taping it, and then yeah. People were like, and then yeah, so Shatter's team came over and they were like, what are you guys doing? Like, what's going on? And like, we talked to, well, I think that this gets a little mixed up, but like Shatter saw us, you know, doing something, and they asked production to investigate, and then production came over and we told them what they were doing, and production, you know, was like, okay, and then told Shatter what we were doing, and then Shatter came over, and I guess it didn't like satisfy them, and they were like, oh, you guys are doing whatever, you guys are cheating, you guys are modifying your robot, I want you to go reweigh. So I mean, we did exactly what they asked. I mean, we went and reweighed, and because this is the second time that Shatter had asked us to reweigh that, you know, for that match, we asked production to do it for us because we were like, we're not going to risk it. They've already asked us to reweigh already for, you know, whatever reason they had, and we already did it, and it was already 250, but they're asking us to do it again. We're just going to let production handle this. So we gave production our robot. Production took it and they weighed it, and it came at 248. I think Zach knows a bit more about this, but they because we, you know, because we gave them the robot, they took it
to a different scale. So yeah, a lot of people were asking, well, why was it, you know, 248? The scale that we got weighed on that second time was a different scale than the first one. And, you know, the scales at BattleBots, they see a lot of traffic. They see a lot of abuse.
They're shit.
And
let's just put it that way.
I mean, like,
there's some variance.
Yeah.
There's some variance between the two scales. And that's why there was a difference.
It was was it this season or 2 seasons ago that one of them fully broke?
Well, they said it was just weighing really light.
Yeah.
The scale that you used in the weigh-in that they showed, that scale was weighing light. And the only reason we know that is because Jake prefers to use that one for Hydra because he can just lower the bot onto the off of the hydraulic cart,
slide it on,
take the cart off, and it's entirely on the scale.
There's no frame around it. There's no frame around it. The weighing surface is hovering.
So you gave up on putting a pickaxe on then? I mean, it wouldn't have mattered on the scale. I mean, you'd get 10 pounds for decoration weight.
No, so like it wasn't a decoration thing. Like we were just it was literally a prop for the walkout. Like this
is a prank, bro.
Like we weren't asking Shatter for decoration weight. We weren't going to put it on in the match. It was literally taped to our weapon. Like we can't spin the weapon with this 3-foot pickaxe, you know, on it. Like, obviously,
gaff tape.
It was with gaff tape. So like, I mean, if anyone just came over and looked or like asked us, it was pretty obvious that we weren't putting on something for the match or like weren't doing anything or we're doing anything malicious. We were just putting it on for the walkout, and we were going to go do the walkout, pretend to be a little hammer robot, have our fun, and then just rip it off and then go and do the fight.
they always part of it's just the TV angle. They're always trying to search and dig for anything that they can.
If you keep doing this every match, then taping shit on there and reweighing, eventually they'll stop reweighing you, and then you can leave more pounds on.
I think next time we'll leave the big hammer taped to the weapon. We can actually be a hammer robot for the match.
I want to let everybody know about this location.
Yeah,
they were discovered backstage or whatever.
So like the funny part to us is that like they on air pretended that this was some like found footage that they discovered or something.
Yeah,
it was like some kind of scandalous thing.
That's
we were
the
doing.
ramp for the damn tunnel.
So there's the ramp. Yeah. So this is for anyone that obviously wasn't there, isn't on at BattleBots. This is the ramp that you are supposed to sit behind when waiting for your match. And like the production staff will put you there. That's exactly where you're supposed to sit. Yeah. And there are cameras and like you're in full view of the other team. And there are cameras and like me and Ethan are already mic'd up. Like this is not some kind of like scandalous location that we were some kind of scandal that we were trying to do like hidden. We were just doing it right behind or right at the waiting area for
and to be fair, right. this is like 15 feet from here to here.
Right. Yeah.
Or 20 feet.
Pretty easily.
So Shatter's here. You're here.
Yeah.
There's a camera right here. A GoPro. There's a stationary GoPro right here. There's another one shooting this way. That's where they got that video from. There's one right here shooting this way. There's a pole which off to this right with a GoPro on it, or another camera. There's another camera here. Rachel, didn't you see like Lucky or somebody back here?
Yeah, Lucky's in the back of this video. You can see their jerseys. The guy in the white shoes and the black, that's a production person.
Yeah, like it's not like we were trying to hide. Like there are PAs sitting right there.
Farouk's like 20 feet away.
This is the most visual spot in the back.
Yeah.
There's probably another team around. We sort of all like pile up there, so there's probably another team around Lucky. Like
also right behind this curtain behind you guys, that's like the big editing production hub.
Yeah,
like
that's
someone's watching this.
The man behind the curtain is over there.
Yeah. Trey has a desk that's just out of frame behind this curtain. Like this is not this is not like a secret location. There are places to take your bot that would be a secret location between weigh-in and this would not be the place.
One of them. Yeah. And I mean you can see the PAs the PA that we had like right there. It's And like the thing about this is like in the battery tent, right before all this, we had already been asked to reweigh. So we weighed in at 250 and we did our thing. And then we put our blanket over to cover up our forks and our ground game and all that. And then I don't exactly know when Shatter arrived, but they were there and they wanted us to reweigh. And we didn't really, I don't know, we didn't ask why. Like it's in their right to ask for a reweigh. We don't know if they wanted to like, just see the robot or see us weigh in or like see the robot on the scale. So we reweighed and we didn't, we did it and we weighed in at 250 again. And then it was just, we did that, and then we went to our testing, and they had also requested a tip speed check. So we did that, and then we went to the arena, and then we did and then we put the hammer on, and then they were like, oh, I want you to reweigh again. We went to reweigh, and then after that, they were like, oh, I want you to tip speed check again. And that's like, there's a whole,
and I don't know, like, I guess if you're watching this, then you probably know this, but the tip speed check, maybe we should talk a little bit about how that works.
Talk about that.
Because
is it accurate?
The background here is that in BattleBots,
hang on. Before you guys get going, I wanted to tell it from our perspective, because this rumor started going around that, and I think it's because part of it might be that when a team that's new to BattleBots comes, they have kind of a rise in quality, right? They start kind of shitty, and then you get better and you get better. And RIPtide came out on everyone's radar, like I had to do a compilation of all your fights, so I have them ready just in case you guys want to talk about any of them. And I think there's like 2 losses in BattleBots in 2 seasons. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of crazy. So to my perspective, when people started these rumors about tip speeds and the speed and all this stuff, I'm like, one, why would you want to spin faster? You would nip more. You couldn't drive because you gyro. And then they say, well, they're hitting so hard. I'm like, have you seen Hypershock throw bots almost to the ceiling? I mean, this is the vert game. Come on, guys. So I don't know.
Energy transfer.
It's. I mean, we can talk about it. Basically, the entire situation with the tip speed. Zach, actually, I don't know if you completed talking.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I want Zach to continue.
Yeah.
So I guess a little bit of background. In BattleBots, your weapon can only spin at a maximum of 250 miles an hour, and there's some reasoning behind this, which is like if you were to hit something at faster than that, it could pierce the Lexan walls. And this rule came about, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I may not know the exact time. I think it came around the 2018 season, maybe. And it came out around the time that Minotaur showed up on the scene, because Minotaur was doing crazy stuff, things that no one had ever seen in BattleBots before. And just like now with RIPtide, everyone gets flustered, like, whoa, what's going on? And, they had this limit to try and rein things in a little bit. So how they test it, they used to use a timing light. Now they actually use a tachometer. And so they hit your robot with a tachometer from behind the test box. And then they know the diameter of your spinner. And they calculate it from there. And then on top of that, they say, although the audience doesn't really see this, we've never seen this, they say that they're also listening to audio during the match and using some sort of, frequency measuring device to make sure that you don't exceed the tip speed that they were testing you at in the test box. And so we went through this test a couple times.
Yeah.
We even, shared with them our electronics. They got to look through our controllers and, stuff like that. And we came in under the 250 limit.
Yeah. So I think they developed this like during the middle of the season, the ability to check the frequency and check check robots' tip speeds using sound at the middle of the season, because they weren't doing it at the very beginning. But the night before the Shatter fight, when we went to the test box to test our robot, they told everyone there that they were doing a surprise tip speed check, and we were like, sure. And so we did it, and we passed, of course. And then the next morning is when it kind of unfolded. A BattleBots production, a technical person, came up to us in our pit and was like, hey, based on our calculations of what we think your robot is, we think you're cheating. We think your theoretical tip speed is above 250 miles an hour. And then he told us basically to prove that our theoretical tip speed was under the 250 mile per hour limit, which is weird because, no other team is really held to this constraint. Like, in order to actually hit 250 miles an hour, like actually to hit the limit, your theoretical has to be, of course, above 250. So like, right. It doesn't really, to limit that doesn't really make sense. But we had to. Yeah.
They tested fusion a lot too.
Yeah.
And not very successfully.
Yeah, after the Witch Doctor fight, alarm bells were going off because everybody's like, "Whoa, they shouldn't have been able to tear through that." And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really difficult sometimes to pick up that reflective tape with the optical tack through the
especially when you're shooting through the the test box.
Yeah.
But they did it to us the day before, and then the day of, they were like, "Hey, prove us that your thing is your prove to us that your theoretical is under the limit." And so we had to pull out our CAD and we had to show them calculations, and we had to literally pull out the diameter of our of our pulleys and stuff.
Weapon diameter, the pulley diameter, the kV of the motors.
Yeah. So we had to give them everything.
The unknown in this, though, is your LiPo batteries, and what voltage are they sitting at per cell under load?
Right.
I mean, probably down someplace, 3.5. But you never know. I mean, if you have a lot of weapon draw at cruise, and your batteries, you don't have many strings, I mean, you could drop lower.
I mean, to me, the real way they should have, they should have known, or they could have just, known for sure that we weren't, is just by using their frequency analysis. And if we didn't, then we didn't. And they tested us the night before the Shatter fight. They tested us right before the Shatter fight, because Shatter requested it. And then after the hammer thing, Shatter wanted us to do it again. And we told them, hey, listen, we can do this for you, but if you want us to test our tip speed again, we're going to go change our batteries, because we don't want to be running this thing to 100% and then back down and then go into the fight with less than full. And we told them it would delay, because it takes us like 40 minutes to take off the top plate, unplug the batteries, put in new ones,
swap them out.
Fasten everything down.
Weigh again, I'm sure, at their request.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a lot of people don't see how much effort it is actually to go from the pits to the actual arena. Between the safety checks, and also putting in the batteries. It's a whole ordeal.
Yeah. And a lot of times you're just sitting there for like 30 minutes anyways. Like they rush you through it.
Hurry up and wait. Yeah.
But it was not a fun experience, because I mean, like literally this is like 3 hours before the Shatter fight. They were like, prove to us this, prove us that you're good. And then they tested us, and then there was the weight thing, and we got weighed like 3 times. And so it was just, I mean, we were pretty upset. And then of course after the official was like, hey, okay, your theoretical is good. He was like, I want you to then show me tomorrow, or later. Next time you go, he said, next time you go to the test box, I want you to show me. I want you to do your tip speed test with me, and give me your weapon controller, and you let me go through all the settings and explain everything, so that I can make sure that nothing's going on. And we did that too the next day, and they were, they didn't find anything. Yeah. And then after that is when they were like, okay, they have not cheated so far. And the message they put out was basically,
I mean, so basically what they were trying to see is if there was some sort of like secret switch that we put in the controller to make it do something crazy. And honestly, the configuration that we're running, I mean, it's the same off-the-shelf configuration that everyone else. I mean, it's the same VESC that everyone else is using. It's the same, it's the same motors that everyone else. It's the same revolts. Everything is pretty consistent. Like, we're actually not using anything that is like crazy new there. The magic is in the research and the testing that we've done on the spinner and the actual geometries itself, and the way that we tune the electronics that we have.
So there's not a third transmitter with somebody sitting in the crowd running the weapon?
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Third option.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Hey, I got some information from an insider at BattleBots that the audio check was started all the way back in Long Beach.
For Minotaur.
Wow. Oh wow.
For Minotaur, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. When Minotaur hit the
They
scene,
didn't film that.
when Minotaur hit the scene, it was just, oh man, people were freaking out because it was amazing. Yeah, they were good.
They were good.
And it was like, who are these people?
Anytime you have a loud weapon in the test box and people hear that from a long ways away, then they're questioning.
Yeah, when Minotaur would spin up in the test box, everyone was here. And you could just see this mass of people leaving the pits going out to the test box to see what was going on.
Rachel, what do you call that?
I call that the who the fuck's that reaction. And you hear someone loud and everyone comes over. I remember we were spinning up both of Fusion's weapons. It was like one of the first times that we had done it. And one of the first ones for sure that it didn't explode. And someone from Witch Doctor came over and I said, "Oh, are you here for the who the fuck's that reaction?" And he was like, "No." And then like looked at the bot really concerned. I was like,
Sid and Zach.
Okay.
Have either of you heard Fusion spin up in the test box with both weapons?
I have not personally.
It's pretty great because it's got two different harmonics.
Yeah,
so it's like going wow, wow, wow. It's really awesome.
In fact, one time Dick and I were like somewhere else. We were like in a battery, in the battery tent when they were really close, the test box and the battery. And we heard a who the fuck's that moment and we went over and it was Fusion. We were like, yes!
Your own bot, you didn't even know.
We were so proud.
We were like, heck yes!
Yeah, I missed that the test box is so far away now. You can't really hear what's going on.
Yeah,
I kind of missed that little distraction in the pits.
Yeah. But
you just need a gas engine. They run for that too.
Yeah. Bring Ice Wave out there.
I still have not heard how loud Ice Wave is. I just have not heard it in person.
It's really bad when you're in the other test box and you're trying to like start Fusion up and hear for fires and shit or run the hydraulic pump and you can't because he's doing shit over there the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like just as soon as he revs down, you're thinking, "Oh yeah, I can do this now." And he revs it back up again.
This might be like a I'm not an engineer baby question, but like, is RIPtide louder because it's chopping the air? Instead, it's not like one spinning mass. It's got the hole in the middle. Is that maybe why it is louder?
I think so. I don't think a lot of people have the big, opening in the center. But also the funny thing is, like, I think one of the first times people watching the episode commented on our weapon being loud was after the glitch fight. Because after we knocked out glitch, I turned it all the way up just to see. And it was like super loud. And that, I don't think it was our weapon. That was literally the belt squealing. And people were like, "Wow, their weapon's so loud." And it was just that our belts were like not that tight.
Did you guys do a stress analysis at all when you're designing the weapon?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We do all sorts of simulation and CAD.
Where's the weak point?
Yeah. You'll have to find out.
You'll have to punch it hard enough and find out. Like,
I got a feeling that it's going to break with a 50,000-pound load.
Well, if you find a 50,000-pound load to put on our bar, let me know, and we will see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we actually have pictures.
Don't
Hey,
test
there
him.
it is.
Don't test him.
Yeah, don't test him.
Here's the thing. We just did one, okay, for the possible new Fusion, an egg beater. Really nice looking alien profile egg beater, right?
Ooh.
Did a bunch of stress analysis on it, and of course we tested it until it broke, right?
Yeah.
That was the plan.
I think that's the nice thing about being able to. I mean, in California, there's not a lot of places where you can go and just hit.
I went away from the egg beater now. They're too weak.
Well, that's just because when you did your testing, it broke. But then when you went back to CAD and put the correct forces on it, then it like, oh look, it was going to break exactly right there. Yeah, but now we know how to design correctly.
To be clear, BattleBots, we are not calling RIPtide out. We are not calling RIPtide out.
Yes, we are.
There is
no
Definitely don't. No,
I don't want to. I feel like y'all are just gonna come in like
with a bike rack.
Yeah.
Check your boards. Check your boards.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I can't wait until you guys have some kind of anti-egg beater configuration solely because you just tried it and figured shit out.
It'll just be like carpet on the front, and we'll just like gum you to death with it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to be the next controversy.
If this week's fusion design, because it changes every week, but if this week's holds true, it'll be a good weapon. It's super solid. It's made to take out other verts.
Because that's the problem, right? It's darn vert. So you make a vert to beat a vert.
Yeah. Really,
picture deep 6, but spins down all the time.
So like cobalt, but spinning down, or like cutting downwards. Okay.
Yeah.
No, they're way stronger than Cobalt's blade.
Okay. I mean, I don't think they've had a problem with their. I mean, I don't know what steel or whatever they have, some exotics and something, but they were. I don't think I've ever seen their blade like fail. Other than, I think they broke something against Endgame that one time they fought, but. That was it.
Derek, you can watch all you want. It ain't gonna change nothing.
That's something I want to.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I call him by his real name, Cobalt Kid.
Yeah,
Cobalt Kid.
Yeah.
Who the hell's Derek?
Yeah, who's this Derek guy?
Yeah, I want to apologize for the little break in the stream here.
For you,
I just
had to go get a baseball mitt.
I had some close, very close. Somebody's trying to buy my dirt bike.
Great.
Why are you selling off all your motorized vehicles?
Moving to Texas.
I don't need so many. I don't need 7 motorcycles per se. Like, to the average person, that's probably a lot. So
It's a lot for a motorcycle owner. Okay, so a fun question here. If you guys had to tag team, where is that one?
Ooh,
you had a tag team with somebody.
Oh,
what bot would be your partner?
Oh man, maybe we could tag team with a horizontal spinner, and we'd have our bases covered.
You want to risk the side hit to the wheel pods though?
I think the only way our robot would get any better is if we added another vert to it. So I'll take Endgame, and we can go sit in the box, and they drive carefully enough to where I don't think they're gonna hit us, and we can just put their like insane. They've got so much weight for ground game. We'll use their weight for ground game, and they can deal with like the first half of the fight, and then they can do the damage, and then we'll come in with like a lawnmower afterwards and just hit them.
What's the plans for next season? What have you heard, and what are you guys looking forward to?
Cheat twice as hard, right?
I think what we've
yeah, that's the only way.
Wait, did you guys talk about cheating? Did I miss that?
Yeah, we're done with that already. Yeah, we have confirmed that they were not caught cheating. We snidbit. There was team that was called out to try to catch you cheating. Did you know this?
No.
It was us, since we were your pitmates, and we have all the cameras on you.
Yeah.
We were asked to put a camera on you to see if there was any shenanigans happening. So we know, at least in the pitting setting, that you didn't do anything.
Wow.
I mean,
know that.
Now we would do this for
I
ourselves, right? Because you are a threat, right? So it's beneficial to us anyway.
It is.
We typically don't point cameras at other teams. It's more like our pits to see if anybody steals shit.
It's not that you weren't already in our camera view anyway. It's just we turned it just a little bit more.
There's
that.
Tiny hands to walk around and look at the bots in other people's pits.
So I can confirm BattleBots tried everything in their power to catch you cheating, and they still couldn't. So sorry, folks. They didn't cheat.
So my question is, how are you doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A magician never reveals his secrets, right?
Well, if
show the video.
If we
do
told
we have video of this?
I think
if
the video is
we're trying to find it.
Well, we'll get around to that.
Actually,
then. Sure.
so we were just talking about it. The only thing that we could ever comment on is he was like, God, they are working on the bot all the time.
Yeah. Very suspicious. They're hard workers.
They're the whole, something's got to be going on. They're very diligent.
Yeah. I mean, we're there. I mean, so listen, like our team, was assembled from basically like if you take all of the like or a bunch of like really good high school robotics people and like just like experts in their own field like Zach, of course, and you put them together, you just get an extremely like competitive team and also people that like really want to win. Like that's what you get when you assemble that. And you get a bunch of people that are ready to work, from 8 a.m. from 6 a.m. when the pits open to midnight. And I mean, that's what you saw, right? Because we were very, very, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Like we were working on the robot the whole time.
We were talking about this earlier.
The whole time.
There was some accusations like, oh, RIPtide they would just want to be on TV. I'm like, it is the opposite.
Yeah.
I don't like. I've never seen it. There's few teams that are as just like you're there to win, right? And there's like a few categories of people at BattleBots. There's people who are there to win, people who are there to be on TV, and then people who are like
having a good time.
And they're having a good time, like kind of competing, but also like being on TV. Like it's just kind of a blend. And you guys, like, I mean,
you can
Ethan makes good TV a lot of times, but like it's not.
That's not why you're there
for
the
that.
RIPtide.
You can
Spy
tell
cam here. Look at that.
Really
I like this angle. It's really really cute.
Yeah,
I just want to point out, we'll be happy to pit next to you again, right?
Aww.
Yeah. Hey, I do want to explain this. The reason this is so grainy. The reason this is so grainy is because you're in the lower right-hand corner of my overall entire pitch shot. So I had to crop the lower 1/8 corner out and zoom it all the way in. So it wasn't necessarily pointed right at you.
No,
but
it's still in our pits. We're pointing at our pits.
But we could definitely see you because we were asked if we saw any shenanigans, and I'm like, well, I can tell you if they are up to shenanigans.
Yeah,
right. We already could tell them, yes.
The answer is that if working on their bot all the time is shenanigans, yes, they're up to shenanigans.
Yeah, no, that's cheating. You can't have that kind of work ethic.
You can tell the really competitive bot guys, though. The guys who cover their stuff afterwards. I mean, you don't want people malarking in your stuff, but that's still a competitive edge that you see a lot of the better echelon teams doing. It's just out of necessity, I guess.
One person's eating and the other ones are working. And now another person's eating.
we rotate. I mean, what could I say? Like,
now you're not. Hey, nobody was working. Okay, there.
Oh, wow.
Well,
wow.
You can even see it by like arrival time and leaving time is something that I sort of we key in on because we are also in early, out late. And there definitely are teams that sort of like roll in at 11. They leave right after the fight. And like if you're in perfect condition post fight, I guess that's one thing, but I
don't know how it's
they're
possible.
doing like a total tear down. They're doing a post-mortem even if they win. Like
we don't do that. Well, Reese does when he starts on fire all the time.
Like when you win,
because that gets a little sickening.
It's immediate.
It's like, God damn it! I just need
we'll have to do a side by side of the pits and see which one's working longer.
I think they were in Reese because he's procrastinating the most.
They were in there so long one day that
I probably do look like I'm working longer, but I work half the speed.
They were in there so long one day that a golf cart came because nobody else was there but them and kicked them out.
Oh no, that happened. I mean, this is important. I mean, I feel bad for them, but like we were literally there until midnight. Like we would not like they kicked us out with the golf cart every time, basically. And like we were there until 12. Yeah.
There's only one shift for the production people. They don't like change out during the day. So the production people too are working really hard. They're there the entire time.
Well, no, they're there later. They have people working that open up, but the real like camera crew and the production crew, they're there later. So it's not like they're coming in at 7 like we are. They're maybe like 10, noon, someplace in there. It's still a decent shift, but it's not as long as what we're running.
Yeah.
So some people are asking about Deviled Egg. I mean, you're going to have to talk about it,
Zach.
Sure. Deviled Egg was supposed to be an egg beater spinner. And, there is an egg beater Deviled Egg that I have, floating around the shop. for BattleBots, I switched it to the drum just because there were problems getting the egg beater in on time from, place I was trying to get the billet from, and I had some problems machining it. So I already had a couple different drum configs for Deviled Egg, and so I thought, well, heck, screw it. Deviled Egg is not going to be an egg beater this year. It's going to be a drum. So
You should get a blue version of that hat for next season.
Yeah. But so you had the crowbar all the way back then, though, too.
Yeah, the
Oh, yeah.
crowbar.
The infamous crowbar.
Wow, the history.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I was going to bring it for the live stream, but I've been moving around my shop. I hadn't been able to dig it out yet.
Yeah.
So how many versions of RIPtide do you have this year? Because I see a lot of people asking about how many bots each team has.
Yeah.
So we had. Yeah, go ahead, Zach.
We have two. There's more than one RIPtide, but at the same time, like you kind of have to, because turnover time isn't like if something serious happens to your robot where it's just wiped out, oftentimes you'll have to fight the very next day, and there really isn't time to just totally rebuild and replace one part of your robot.
Or when it comes to tournament time, two times in one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the only way that we know how to deal with that is you have, Robot 1 and Robot 2, and when Robot 1 is down, you can wheel out Robot number 2. I mean, I think like some people take this to the extreme. I think, there's like 4 lockjaws or something like that.
Yeah, it was so cool to watch because you'd see them like I don't know, last year at least they would have like 3. They just had 3 sitting there ready for bounties, and we were like, so you guys have to play three matches back to back, what are you gonna do? And they were like, and you just see, and they're just 3 lockjaws sitting right next to each other. It was so funny.
Mm-hmm.
So is there a favorite RIPtide frame?
Well,
Have you named them?
I like Robot 1 for RIPtide, although they are more or less identical.
Yeah,
There's always tiny little differences.
Robot 2's wiring is cleaner because it wasn't as rushed. And Robot 1 actually had a problem with a little short through our magnesium part from our 2 Vesks. So the wiring definitely got a little funky, but Robot 2 fixed that.
Well, just for clarity, Whyachi, before Hydra, and even the first year of Hydra, we only brought 1 bot of everything. There was never 2 full bots that we could ever make of. Now, the first year we had 1 Hydra. The second year we had 1 Hydra, right? It was only the third year where we actually started making 2 bots, and we made the 2 fusions at the same time.
No, there was 1 fusion for 1 year.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's true. There was only 1. So,
in my opinion, now, like the way the scheduling is so crammed, because they're trying to make 2 TV shows, right?
oh, for sure.
They're doing the Golden Bolt, and then they're doing the regular bracket, and so really the way the filming is kind of compressed, you kind of have to bring 2 robots.
For sure. Now with the fight night rounds,
Nowadays,
if it was a single elimination tournament, you don't necessarily need that.
Yeah,
you lose, you're done. But
It
now
gives you a
you
little-
can.
It gives you a little flexibility on your repairs. You
Mhm.
can,
But what's difficult about that is that it really heightens the barrier to entry, because a rookie team has to really know what they're up for, and they really have to show up with 2 bots, or at least enough parts to make 2 bots.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or they need to be able to repair it really fast. And
Right.
I mean, at least for us, I don't know. Zach might agree with this, but I think our biggest weakness is just repair time. And trust me. I mean, if we wanted to, we would. If we could, we would be done with the robot. Earlier. It's not like we would stay there, every single night, the whole time. If we had these robots completely done, completely tested.
how much testing and driving time did you get before this season?
Not as much as we would have liked. I mean, it's really hard to find a place to test the weapon, especially since we were doing the weapon in California. I mean, where are you going to find a big empty spot where you can really spin it up and do it safely? So, I mean, we can test the motor config. We can test the controllers. We can test all of that stuff sort of dry. But a lot of our final tuning and tweaking that has to happen with the weapon fully attached and everything. It has to happen in the test box when we show up.
Yeah, and even then, like it's not everything, because there's some things that you want to tweak, like pushing your motors even harder. But you don't know if it'll actually last until you're hitting something for 3 minutes. And where are you going to hit something for 3 minutes? It's not like you can do that in the test box. So realistically, we were
there any changes that you made early on this season that, boy, we got to fix this, we're going to have a problem with it the rest of the year?
Washers,
yeah,
bearings. So
bearings.
In our infinite wisdom, the washers on the side of, between the beater and the tower's aluminum. The washers were aluminum, and of course they were greased up and everything. But what we found out is that when you spin up a weapon that fast, and then you run it for a bit, and then you let it, and then you stop it, the washers like warp and they kind of melt, and then they grind together, and then you friction weld your entire weapon assembly together.
Yeah,
So,
just in driving the bot around, just the lateral motion was enough to like stir weld our washers. It was pretty impressive, actually.
We run with bronze washers there, but we're probably going to switch to aluminum bronze. A little bit stronger.
We found out so this is funny because we found out this problem the night before the glitch fight, the night before our first fight in the test box, and we had like 3 hours to then take apart the robot or take apart the weapon, and like this was bad. Like this is the worst we'd ever had to deal with the stir welding. So we had to like hammer it out. I remember Donald was over helping us because we were asking him. We were like, Donald, how do we get the shaft out? It's stuck. And like we couldn't.
Is that
get
why
it
you
through the
needed a big
bearing.
wrench?
Yeah. Wait. The wrench was later. The wrench is because we needed to tighten our weapon bolt.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because we were even the impact.
You guys buy one of those yet?
We bought a big impact like a day or so after we started using yours, because we were like, holy shit, this is so useful.
Yeah.
And then we went and bought a big one.
We got the big guy now. We're not messing around.
But so this fight right here, we were still running the aluminum washers because we couldn't source steel ones in time. So we ran aluminum washers, and so you see me spin down after we think this fight is basically over. But then I realized if I let this spin down, it's gonna seize. So I spin it back up because I'm like, okay, just if they start moving somehow and this fight needs to continue, we cannot have this weapon spin down. So that was tough. And then of course after this match, the washers were stir welded again, and then we spent another couple hours banging it out.
Yeah. And
then finally got the steel washers in. But yeah. And also we broke the bearings. So we went from 4 bearings just in the weapon to 6 bearings total, 2 more in each pulley after like our first fight. And then, we changed so much. We went from 4 to 6 bearings. We changed from, I think our bearings had like a polyamide inner housing, and then we switched to like, I don't remember what it was.
The shaft is tie, right?
Stainless.
Yeah, the shaft is titanium.
And you're running the needles right on the tie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you never had a problem with that?
Oh, we did. So I don't know if Zach's pulling something up to show it. But
I was going to try and dig a little bit. But
we had galling on the shaft. And what we think is that some of the problems with our bearings breaking is because the shaft would get dented in, and then the little rollers would catch when when the weapon weight shifted, and then that would break the housing. So this time we are working on a solution for RIPtide 3 or 2.5 that makes it so that our contact patch with the shaft is not titanium; it's steel.
Hey, both Sid and Zach, you guys both can share a browser tab or a screen if you have something you need to share.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you know if I can find something interesting here.
Reese has got his notepad and Parks has his notepad.
Oh man.
Oh, okay.
I was
Hey,
in
Parks,
your
what do you got,
Battle
Parks?
with them there.
I see you having a battle there. Were you just riding the right?
I'll share my
Do you
notes
want
at
to know
the
what
end.
mine says? Mine says I can show it, but it's going to give away some of the rest of it.
Oh no.
Oh.
I was writing notes. So
What's the
bear with me.
time
I'll
mark?
read it at
Are
the
we
end.
after an hour?
It said, "I'm so happy Michael Sarah could make it."
Oh,
That's what
Okay.
thank you. It's always
That
so nice
joke
to
already.
hear from my
That joke
fans.
came and went.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
We are over an hour, by the way.
Let me
Great.
see.
Yeah, it's time for an advertisement from our sponsors. Jack
Oh,
Link's
is
beef
that,
jerky.
Where's that? Quick Trip? You got Quick Trip? this
Quick
time?
trip.
Got a Quick Trip sweatshirt? I'm hoping they're going to sponsor us next year. I'm throwing a shout out now.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it's time, right?
I'm
We've got
hoping for
Quick
Jack
Trip on
Links.
Jack Links would be
So-
nice too. Right in our backyard.
Just to be clear, Jack Link's beef jerky is the best out there, and nobody can beat him
Plus, Reese would look great dressed up as a Sasquatch.
Oh,
because I
absolutely.
don't have to wear anything.
Not there. It's not there.
And we used to make equipment for Jack Links for their production equipment.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
And I only eat meat.
Oh, we have a special guest. Hey, Tom,
We're in trouble.
can I kick
Yes.
you down for a second, little buddy?
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
Tom.
Okay.
Tom, I thought we could have 10.
I only laugh because Parks is still in here and I kicked Tom first. I'm sorry, Tom. I know you can still see me. I only did it on purpose because of that. Oh, so we have a special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself, Stan?
Hey guys.
He's speechless. Oh my God, no way. We're gonna have to get Ethan out here to start yelling at us now.
I've got a picture of the Gulling too, actually. If you want me to present.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have a picture.
Let me grab it.
Just
Yeah,
kick
you
it
guys
in.
can share screens. Jake, just watch for their screen
Okay,
shares.
Man.
Screen.
I
He's
thought
got a
I was-
shaft. It's a blurry shaft. Is that like because it's
Because of the
triple X
background.
rated or something?
It's picket. No, it's
Is that
that's
the
what
barrel
I
to
need
his
for my
gun?
OnlyFans. Blurred out shafts. Come
There it is.
on.
There's some shafting.
No.
Yeah, so this was not fun.
Wow.
Yeah. So there is a solution. Oh, Stan's got the actual shaft. Or one of them. But
So
yeah.
the bearings turned into a zero-way clutch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's some dog back
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And what size shaft is that? Inch and a half?
I'd say 2.
2?
No,
Looks like
we're-
2.
It's
50 mil?
I think it's yeah.
Close.
Yeah.
You know how that rolls perfectly? We were waiting for you, Stan, but this comes right in perfectly. Stan's starting with the weapon check.
Yeah.
Look at that. He's showing us the weapon. Tom, let's start with you. What do you got for a weapon
Gun
this time?
check.
Gun check.
I have a gun.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I've got a gun.
You've
Do
got
it.
another gun, huh?
Really?
I've got another gun, yeah.
Let's see it.
Hell yeah. Right.
What kind of water pistols
I've
we
got
got here,
myself
Mr.
a-
UK?
I've got myself a Black & Decker fixing gun.
There
Ooh.
you go.
Okay, you got to get it in camera, though, buddy. There you
There you
go.
go.
Yeah.
A
Ah.
Kind of a
stapler
heavy-duty
gun.
staple gun is what I've
Yes.
got today.
Oh, Parks has a gun this time.
Parks has a Black & Decker
Wow.
drill as well.
And he's drilling his own head. Okay,
That's
awesome.
correct.
Awesome. We have a few California people, though, that aren't, necessarily gun owners.
I've got
You can-
something. It's
It's
not
not
a
that hard
gun,
on a gun here.
but it
Oh,
could be
Stan
eventually.
stands out too much.
Oh, wow.
Stan
What's he
came
got?
in, showed a shaft, and that was it.
He started this.
That's
Yeah,
all we
he
needed.
did. Thank you, Stan, by the way. Thank
I've
you.
got
We needed
this little
one.
guy,
Uh-huh.
little auto aiming little turret guy. So hey,
Cool.
just give me a gun
Cool.
and I'll put it on here.
Give me
And,
an address. I'll
I'm in
send you
I mean,
Texas
the
there's
right now,
one.
so hey, I'm good. I mean,
I don't think we have anything new.
No,
Never heard anything new.
Losers.
we couldn't disappoint. We had to do it. Oh,
Yeah, I'm talking to you, Trevor. We never have anything new. We never
See-
have anything new.
It came in so... do we have any bingos yet tonight? Anybody?
Bingo.
Somebody had a line. I saw
Damn it,
somebody
I don't
had a
have
line so
anything
far
new
down the
either.
right
Oh, we
side.
did. Oh.
Somebody's got Tiny Hands Badass, Tom British Stereotype, nickname used, Reese disappears, and Hydra for sale. So
I
I know there's definitely
disappeared.
that. We've got Fusion. Fusion
Yeah.
fire joke has been done.
We're gonna trade Hydra to RIPtide.
Yeah,
my
this
God.
Hydra for sale.
We
Yeah,
have
you guys need a second bot to run, and then we could just make a new one.
You want a
We're
flipper?
representing the UK for gun check.
Oh, what do you got?
My switchblade.
Oh, you can't have that.
Ooh,
Tom can't have
nice.
that.
Tom can't
Technically,
have that. No.
technically,
Well,
knives
knife
lose
side.
in a gun check, but I'll count
This
it.
was used in a web series prop that never materialized that I acted in.
Huh.
And I got to keep the gun, gun. Ooh. I got to keep the knife, and by that I mean I stole it.
That's the
Yeah.
minimum.
I mean, I stole it.
Mm-hmm.
On TV shows I worked on, I was infamous because I would always ask the set decorator if I could take the stuff they were using home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, Stan's back. Never mind. I can't put this up now. I was gonna say Stan's just gonna come in to fact check us, and then he'll be bounce back up.
Yeah,
But he's gonna stay
I don't
this
know.
time, huh?
I just wanted to give
caught
some
it.
galling. If you've got something else, great. I can go either way. It's okay.
Just the chat.
No, you're
Do you have
welcome.
anything
You're welcome
specifically
you're
for
welcome to
Stan
stay.
since he's here? Anything? We already
Yeah,
went
I
over
do.
a couple of
If I
things,
count as
right?
chat.
Stan,
If I count
Stan,
as chat, I'd
what,
like to
what do
ask.
you Stan? What do you think about BattleBots? You know, your first 2 seasons. What's your summary?
I think I really liked how the production quality actually improved this year. I think we obviously know the storyline was a little dramatic, but I think they did a really good job making the cuts, the promos. So as far as the quality, I think they did an amazing job, actually.
Yeah,
I also have to say it's neat that they're running a live show. I have no idea how well it's doing, but I think it's cool.
It's
And
not.
I think
It's not as good as you would hope.
Oh, okay.
It
well,
started off well.
It could be cool,
But-
is what we're hearing.
It would seem that everybody's fear has been realized, that the fans can tell that there's no weight to the situation. There's not any realness to it. It's a show.
So wait, you folks, you did the live show, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, we were out
I
there.
mean,
We were out there on the first day that was, not the soft opening. It was the main one that they
Yeah.
invited media to and whatnot. We were out there for a few of the shows, and it's a shot in the dark. I mean, it's what Trey wants to do. It's his dream, and you hope for the best, but I don't know.
I feel like they're learning exactly how expensive robots are.
Yeah, and I don't think it can be possible unless there is some sort of extra behind the scenes, people pouring their heart and souls into these robots and putting it out on the stage. I don't think you can make a show like that.
So I know Hypershock and like Witch Doctor, they all prepared like live show versions of their bots, but like I know you guys competed, like what you guys use Hydra. Did y'all have to change anything? Were they were they okay with y'all just going in and using the same version of Hydra?
Yeah, it doesn't exactly rip the other bots apart, so it's no big
Sure.
deal.
Okay.
Just a flipper. Not one of those continuous flippers,
Y'all have gotten enough knockouts. Come on, like we know.
Well, not since the arena's been caged off.
I mean, Sid, you're running the weapon. Imagine you having to fire a flipper every damn time instead of just turning the speed.
I would not be able to drive it. It would be terrible. Yeah, at least in my case, I just get to flick. I have one little guy that goes from here to here, and that's in 99% of matches. That's all I have to do. But
yeah.
And
you sacrifice so much weight, so you feature your weapon more, and then of course you can't protect your sides or back like you should, and with armor, so one mistake driving, it's over.
So we have like a 56 something pound weapon. Your lifter arm is not that heavy, but like how much is your whole weapon system weigh? Like what's the cost?
Probably 90.
Damn.
There's a lot. That's why there's only very thin titanium for the most part protecting the bot.
Wow.
Well,
I know what we
like,
I know what we should do is make it so the flipper tongue actually rotates up vertically. That way, when we stick it into, say, egg beater spinners or whatever, if they catch on it, no big deal.
Yeah,
Fusion's 80 pounds as well, but
Wow.
the same. It's basically the opposite of Hydra. I have 3 AR pretty much wherever I need it. So very well protected for the most part.
Well, your issue with Fusion is just how small it is, right? Because you can't vent that.
I don't know. There could be because this year we moved the speed controllers out. They're
Right.
out of the frame. They are on top of the horizontal. They're getting wind blown at them 100%
And they're
of
still
the
not
time.
the correct speed controls.
It's I think it has to do with maybe inertia, momentum, where the weapon just drops too low of an RPM, and I am the only guy running the bot. I have the weapons on switches. It's on or off, and we have them on timers.
Interesting.
So if I don't flick it off and it's down at like say 30 or 20% speed, it's trying to go 100, and it might just blow up the speed controller.
Huh. So you guys have like a current limit on your weapon, and then
supposedly it's supposed to, but it always spikes higher than that.
So why don't you become like the cool kids and run the vest like everyone else?
Never.
It's our last ditch effort. That is our last. We don't want to. We got a guy, Luke. He's been messing with them. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in.
Well, who is actually an expert at Vesk?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people have run them, but like for example, we've never blown up a vest. We've had one die, and it was like the signal stage that died. And that's because we didn't pot both sides, I'm pretty sure. But we've potted both sides of the vest now, and our entire season this year, we used the same vest that we put in the bot last year.
What sort of amp draw is each of those revolt motors?
We limit it in the vest, so we've limited ours to like 200 something. So it's a 300 amps. Sorry,
is the limiting pretty reliable?
Yeah, I think it was a good job. I don't think it pushes past. Yeah, and you get some pretty good telemetry with it. So, I mean, I was using the Bluetooth app to like measure or to like read our current draw in the test box. And yeah, I think that was pretty useful. I don't know. I think it's Vesk has its own problems, of course, but I feel like most of the issues that people have been having have just been like they're maybe they're a little too scared to like take them apart and like properly silicone and epoxy everything.
Yeah.
But once you do that, I feel like I don't know. To be fair, like we don't get thrown into the air very very often, so like we don't take that many hits.
Well, and Fusion will do that to itself, but that's not the problem. The problem is the front end actually sticks about a 1/4 inch off the ground. So we have our reaction forks, quote unquote. So when it hits something, it's an instant snap into the ground.
Yeah.
And our speed controllers are on the back side, and so they're taking we have them shock mounted, but they're still.
Oh, you do.
They're still probably taking 300 Gs or so, if not more.
I've never tried to use a different speed controller in BattleBot because we're spoiled. Well, I'm spoiled, and I get to use whatever I want. But I don't know. I've used them. I've been using them for a while. Skateboards, little things like that. BattleBots, and it's actually been nice. I have had only positive experiences with Vesk so far. Well, who knows? Maybe that'll change.
So we lost Jake here on the stream because it's storming like crazy here.
Yeah, it's lightning
in
pretty
Wisconsin.
bad here too. Probably gonna lose me in a couple seconds.
He had a little bit of a shaky internet connection.
So somebody had mentioned the Black Dragon. That's one of the ones I haven't put on. So we can just put this in the background. This is pretty crazy fight here.
Yeah, this one went about. Oh,
Yeah.
This one.
I mean,
this one went almost as well as we could have.
Yeah, we were really nervous before the Black Dragon fight. I mean, Black Dragon is an amazing robot, and I mean, the team behind it's actually a school team. A lot of people don't know that. I don't know how many of the members are like permanent or how many, but I think it's hard for a team like that to stay cohesive and come with a consistent robot, and they pull it off. At least for me, the fight with Black Dragon, it was really our first, with the new version of RIPtide. We were really going in and we were really nervous as to what would happen to us and if we would be able to survive.
Yeah. I actually, on the Black Dragon point, what I heard is that their team fully rotates basically every year. So that's why you get, like, we have new captains.
Except for maybe the driver, I believe.
Maybe.
And that might be every couple years.
Okay.
What's all that crap coming out of it?
Oh, I think it hit a light. Maybe go back.
It was their lights.
Yeah.
It was the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, something hit the studio light.
Yeah. Which we seem to do a little too often, but oh well. Done it a couple times. But yeah, Black Dragon was scary. Felt really nice to knock him out, but also Black Dragon is like one of our favorite teams there. Like, they're so sweet. We were pitted against them, or pitted right next to them, like right, next to them last season. And yeah, like it was us, Black Dragon, and then Minotaur in front of us. And I feel like you cannot get a funner, like more fun, like bunch to just be pitted next to. I have videos, and I think I posted this on the RIPtide Insta like a while ago, but they'd be like, like carting each other around like at like 11 when no one's watching. And like they'd be like, pretending to like, they'd be doing like the shopping cart thing. They're just such a fun bunch. And yeah, they gave us we haven't showed the stuff yet, but they gave us a big they gave us their top plate after the Black Dragon fight, which was really sweet. They signed it. We have a picture.
So we got a question here of all the KOs. Is there any one that was satisfying or your favorite or biggest surprise maybe?
I'm gonna say Shatter. Let me guess Shatter.
I don't know.
That's so hard to say. I mean, because that's not really how we look at it. Like, there isn't necessarily like some satisfaction that comes out of it. It's we're here to compete and we're here to put on a good show. And hopefully we try to do well.
Yeah,
and what is this? Is this from
Black Dragon top plate?
Black Dragon, yeah.
So this was really sweet, and we took a big picture together.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can show the picture because it was at the end of filming, and there might be some NDA stuff in the back.
Yeah.
But
that's their top plate.
Yeah, they're a lot wider than they look.
Wow,
aren't they?
it's all chewed up.
No, I mean that's all they have for a top plate.
On Black Dragon?
Most people don't have armor everywhere.
Yeah.
It's like what, quarter inch it looks like? I don't know.
So I did prepare this other one. Some people have seen this already. This is a side by side of the Shatter fight versus the Shatter fight last year. And I'm going to skip most of the boring part, but when I watched it, I was commenting to myself how you could pass one fight off for the other. They're almost the same. Here it starts. So up on the shelf on upper left is this year, lower right is last year. And really the only difference is that you were hitting them and busting them up in three corners last year or this year and only one corner last year.
So I think one of the interesting things is that like last year they chose not to run any kind of ground game against us, like actual ground game, because what they thought is that they had run this in like some kind of 30-pound match or like a 12-pound match, but they thought that our egg beater would just chew into their plastic, like Minotaur did, I think. And instead, on like one of the first hits, our wedge or our little wedgelets kind of picked them up, and then we ripped the whole thing off. And they were not expecting that last year.
So
and then,
go ahead.
And then this year they were like, they said this on the broadcast too, but they were like, we decided to run really thick forks because Defender and Sawblaze had good success with that.
Yeah.
But then we tore them off, so that was good.
But here's kind of the end of the fight. Both years.
It wasn't even their forks either. They stole it from a different team. They were the ones that were cheating.
You saw my mom.
I have a question for these verts. This might just be like some math or something that I understand. How come more like front plates don't have like a true curve to it to kind of like, diminish the sort of impact?
It's hard to make.
Bounces off. Is that it? It's just like difficult to.
I mean, like, are you talking about like making wedgelets or something with like a curve or something? Like
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
So get the impact.
Yeah.
Like the blacksmith versus Minotaur, they have like a C shape. That's on the floor, and then they go over the top a little bit.
Yeah. No, I like you said, it's not easy to make stuff like that. We did think about like, but then, if we were to do that, we have to make a special tool and a compound bend, and we have to form the metal around it. And it's just, there's kind of this mad dash at the end of BattleBots, so or the beginning of BattleBots, to like get the robot done in time. And usually the path that you end up taking is like, okay, what can I water jet, or laser cut, and then that's first, and then okay, what can I machine, and then finally what can I weld, because that's what's going to take real time and effort to prep and grind your welds. So
how many weeks notice do you guys need for the next season?
Well, we're planning.
How much did you put into it so far? Are you continuing on now with the improvements?
You're going for it?
Yeah, I mean, there's kind of this cycle with BattleBots where everyone's like, we don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't know. Maybe not this year. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, it's happening. You gotta go right now, And so we feel comfortable that, it's probably gonna happen again this year. We don't really know when, but we're gonna just assume that it is, and we're gonna start working now. I mean, we've already started our meetings and looking at parts and things that we want to change and stuff like that. I'm curious actually about you guys, what's your crystal ball say right now about?
Yeah, but for ordering parts, I mean, that are crazy long lead times. I mean,
yeah,
I mean, we're looking at what, 8 weeks right now.
Yeah, if they want to shoot in early July or early August,
yeah.
So, a lot to do on our end, and I mean, it really needs.
We'd have a better crystal ball if we just said we weren't going.
Yeah,
we need
to be a lot simpler.
No, we wouldn't, because we say that every year, and then
this isn't anything new.
We do.
I mean,
right.
I mean, the first ABC reboot, there was what, 3 weeks notice?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I do want to ask the RIPtide guy something.
Yeah.
That's why Warrior got
No,
brought
Tom.
back.
Tom, you settle down there. You can't ask. No, go ahead, Tom.
Screw you, Jake. I'm asking it.
Tell him to fuck off.
Hey, wait.
Tell him.
Bye.
Oh, don't.
I'm joking. Come on back.
Where is he?
You hurt his feelings for a
Where is he? There he is.
No, I hurt his feelings in Discord the other day, though. I know that. Didn't I, Tom?
Go ahead, Tom.
Didn't I?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I know my role in Discord. I'm there to set them up for you, and you knock them down.
What is your name now in that, by the way? You seem to have taken a liking to adding a Whyachi-esque name.
Sort
in
of, yeah.
I got permission
what's up with that, huh?
Yeah, he talked.
Okay.
I got permission for that. I changed my name to Sort of Whyachi because I am Sort of Whyachi.
So what was your question, Tom?
I kind of have two for the RIPtide guys, Stan, Zach, and Sid. Obviously, you're at this point in time, 5-0. All your wins are knockout so far. I know there's no such thing as the perfect robot, but that's kind of the perfect start. So how do you go about looking at where to improve when there's basically been almost no imperfections from a viewer standpoint so far?
Well,
And looking rather dominant.
Even if we had gone through the whole season, like even in a season where our robot never gets hit or never takes damage, and we just mow through people like Pipe Force did, like I think the first thing we try to look at is just repair time, because some of our stuff is just like some of our stuff just takes a long time to take apart and put back together, and I feel like if we were to focus some more time on that, it could take us a long way in getting ready. I think that another thing we could be doing is electronic stuff, optimizing like our power. If we had more time, we could balance our power, maybe play a little less safe, play a little more safe here and there. A lot of the stuff we're doing for RIPtide, for the next RIPtide, is just tuning. It's optimization.
Yeah, and experimenting with new materials.
Yeah.
What kind of new materials?
Like magnesium. Looking at some other like specialty varieties of titanium for the shaft,
plastics,
things like that. Yeah.
So what are you running for voltage, and how many amp hours do you have in that bot?
Our weapon is running at 16S. And in terms of battery capacity, I think we have four 4 amp hour batteries, or no, we have 6 4 amp hour batteries, and 3 of them are in series and 3 of them are and then we have 3 in series, and then we couple them in parallel. Or sorry, oops. What am I saying? 2 in series and then all in parallel. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're 8 cell packs, and you got them 2 pairs, and then 3 sets of that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what Hydra runs as well. Not the same size packs, of course, but because Hydra's stuff actually.
What do you have? What do you have?
We need to run two separate voltages.
So this is for your weapon system. You have
the weapon runs at the higher 12S, and then the solenoids and the control panel runs at 8S.
Okay, so you have a separate battery system for your 12S, and then
I just kind of pull off mid-pack.
It's very tricky. Like if you look at a wiring schematic, you're like, that's gonna start on fire.
Because I've thought about doing that for stuff like smaller robots, and that's not it's not the most straightforward thing to do.
It's not high powered though.
Yeah, the reason he's getting away with it is that the coils it's just the coils really, right? It's not the pump or anything like that.
It's like 10 amps max.
Okay, yeah. We run our drive at we're running short mags, like we're running them at 6S for now. So we have fully our two electronic sides are completely independent, which I think is cool. Haven't had to use it so far, hasn't been a problem. But
so you have receivers for both sides then too?
Yeah.
So if your bot's split in half, it could drive yet.
Oh no! So sorry, I meant the weapon and drive were separate, completely separate.
Okay. So not a Warhawk situation here with everything.
It's not a duck situation. It's not an endgame situation.
Okay.
Though I'd love that, but
are you going to move to that?
It is nice, but it's
space is tough.
Space and
there's
sometimes
a lot of complexity to that.
Yeah. So you're trading redundancy for complexity, and sometimes it's not an easy trade to make.
It's considered to be redundant, but it's also another point of failure, which is less redundant.
So you guys want another shot at Sawblaze?
We'll take it.
Is there a match that you want to rematch on? Like, not one that you necessarily lost, but like you think you could just do it even better, or it was such a fun match that you want to go back and do the same ass kicking?
I feel like of the robots we've played so far, like this, I don't want to come off anyway.
Like
I feel
last season, whenever.
So far, I'd rather just play someone new. Like I feel like we've played. Like I want to play Sawblaze. I think that'd be really cool. But also, like, I don't know. Like I feel like we want to be at least in this stage of the competition. We want to be playing against like the S tier teams, like the top 5s. So that's what I want.
So who don't you want then?
How
I mean,
long
not
does it
necessarily
take
your
you
worst
to-
enemy, but just like who wouldn't you want? You know, the one-hit wonders, I guess, of the world.
Bite
Who would-
Force.
You don't want to. You want to do Bite Force?
Deep Six. Nobody
I think
wants to
Deep
fight
Six
Deep
would be.
Six.
I don't want to play. Yeah.
Tombstone.
Oh, Tombstone would be interesting. I think Huge is an interesting one because our win against them in season 6 was so cheese. Like we pushed them into a wall and they got stuck.
Yeah, I mean, you box rushed them and the hit worked out perfectly for you.
Yeah. I don't know.
You know, there is luck in BattleBots. There's the most
And Paulie
prepared
had it
team
all.
needs some luck.
Yeah.
Well, they should really pay you and say Endgame and Bite Force. You know, all the 4-wheel drive verts that are really, really good, right? Have them come back, do a pay-per-view event where you guys just do your own fights here.
Yeah.
Okay. I want a cut of this since I said it first, Trey.
Make it a
5%?
5-minute fight. You cannot. It does not end because who knows.
You'll get the standard cut from BattleBots like about.
I would not
6
give it to
months,
Bite Force anymore.
10 years from now.
I mean, they were dominant, right? And it's still really, really good bot. It would beat half the bots any year that they ever come back, right? But I think they'd be well out of their class now.
I think the Endgame has progressed so much since then. I mean, Endgame basically had the win the first time they fought, I think. So I think the Endgame has progressed so far, and they've pushed brushless so far. I think Endgame would take that. I don't know, but who knows? Paul might come back with something crazy, and I'm excited to see that.
Mm-hmm. He's not dumb enough to though.
Yeah.
He's not coming back. He's happy with his nuts and just gonna stay retired.
He's done enough. Yeah.
He does like
him at Robo Games. I told him. I said, put some batteries in that robot. Throw it in there. See if you can do these guys. If you're real.
I mean,
I always wanted the Hydra match with Bite Force. I always wanted it because he was top tier, and I just wanted to be the guy to actually beat him, right? And then Chomp gets that.
I think
there's so much mystique around Paul and Bite Force as well. It's almost to his detriment if he comes back. And
if you can make God bleed, right? Like if he comes back and loses a fight, then his entire, people are like, oh well, he was so good, but then he came back and lost. And
it's like
when
Bronco
he doesn't come back.
They still talk God tier about Bronco, but yet he didn't win a match that whole season.
I think that if he doesn't come back and he just stays this way, people will still be talking about him for so long.
It'll still be the ultimate. I don't care how far you go. It'll still be like, that's always the bot that people will talk about.
Yeah. Do you think that people will beat the 25 match no KO record?
No.
That's pretty hard.
No.
That is in current format 2 seasons without a loss.
The reliability of the bots.
Going through the nut and the golden bolt, and both of them winning without a loss.
I mean, you can
Terratops
still
is only 23 fights away.
Do you have another question, Tom?
Yeah, go ahead, Tom. I know you got them lined up there.
Yeah, I do. And Stan, I'd particularly like to get your input on this as well, if you don't mind. So part of why I'm here, as well as the British accent, is kind of to give the fan and viewer perspective. So I do kind of want to know, are you happy and do you think it's fair how the show has presented you guys? And are you guys happy with being positioned in a villain role? Because right now I see this week's Fight of the Week, the caption for it is, "Did RIPtide cheat?" in giant letters.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe
instead of RIPtide kick Shatter's ass, which should be the title.
Instead of Claw Viper versus Mad Catter.
I can start it. I mean, so far, they haven't until this fight. I think it was fairly representative what they had said. What they'd done. Like we're like a new team. We're doing really well, and we're confident. And I think that of course, the producers are pushing Ethan. A little bit past every time when he interviews to say the next cool thing, to just say, yeah, we're gonna win, or yeah, we're gonna rip them apart, or something like that. I think that this thing was different for us because it was just completely like they withheld information that they knew in order to be able to get the thing that did RIPtide cheat headlines. Because if we had cheated, right, they would have showed that and they would have said these guys cheated, and they could have just played the footage of us like adding whatever or removing whatever or doing whatever or saying that we broke the tip speed or weight limit.
Right.
And if we didn't cheat and they wanted to show the actual truth, they could have just showed the full footage or told them or like said on air what we told production and what production told chatter that we were doing. And like anyone can look through their like the backstage footage and find out that, oh yeah, they took a hammer, they put it this way, they taped it on, and then they took it back off when it got bad. But like
during this time, do you guys get kind of a sense as to what storyline they're kind of pushing you towards?
It's hard because there's a bunch of things that they collect throughout the event, not just like from our team, but from other teams. And it's really hard to gauge what it is they're going to like focus in on and like what's going to like fester the on-air drama.
Yeah.
But it's TV, right? They want there to be heroes. They want there to be a villain. And maybe next year we'll have Tombstone back and they'll have their old villain back and everything will be fine.
They'll have the new villain versus the old villain fight during our regular season for sure.
No, I'm not giving you the villain title. Then we won't have that fight.
I don't think you need to give it to us, Jake. I feel like
no. This has to be passed down. This is official. You can't just claim this title. I don't care how many people hate you. I don't care.
All right. Well, when you're ready to hand it over, I think that we have done enough.
Jake was hated for something he did.
Yeah.
See, that's the difference here.
Yeah.
Not allegedly did. He actually did the thing.
Oh, nobody remembers that bike rack yet.
No. What is this? I know this is a really old chat. You're bringing it back up.
Really old, yeah. This is right on par with this. It's like they're always looking for the shot that they're trying to get, right? And in what season was that, Dad, with you and Ghost Raptor? And they asked you the same question like 15 different ways to get you the soundbite that they were really looking for, or you were saying, "Oh, I'm gonna come back and I'm just gonna kick his ass," right? Yeah. That's all the soundbite they wanted.
Yeah.
So yes,
now,
there is
on
there
the
is some
hand,
feeding of questions.
Wonder.
Definitely unscripted.
They asked me for a second time. I said, no, that's the best I can do it. So take it and blur it out if you want, beep it out, whatever. That's the best I can do it.
Right. They're not putting words in your mouth, but they're definitely looking for your real, I guess, reaction to certain things.
Want. Yeah.
They'll keep asking you questions until they get what they want.
Because they have a story. They have a story writer, behind the scenes, and they're kind of trying to follow a certain thing. So when they come up, they know what questions they want to ask to follow the story that they're trying to get to.
One of the funny things, actually, is like people are always like, "Oh, like you know these controversies are going to happen. Why don't you like prepare for them and like say?" It's because we don't know. Like we just like. We didn't know the Mad Cat, so people were upset about the post-match interview with Ethan and Martin Mason. Ethan and Martin Mason are cool, like, and people were like, oh, like this is so upsetting to me, like he's such a great like person and like and he is, but like they were like, oh, you disrespected him, and it was like, I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys, like we can like there's nothing for us to say because that wasn't a controversy. And then the next thing, immediately after, was Captain Shredderator, and like the only thing we had heard during that time, in filming was like Brian, like the Shredderator team was a little upset, but we didn't hear all that much, and the big indication that they were not entirely happy with it was that they posted on Reddit at some point about us, and it was not happy, and then. We didn't know it was going to be a problem until the episode came out, and they were like, yeah, like they hit him so many extra times, and then they like played they like paused the fight to like inject the soundbite of like Shred's team saying, "Oh, hey, no, and yeah, like that. We weren't expecting that. So I woke up to a bunch of messages there going, "Oh my god, what's going on here?" And then this fight did not. I did not expect this because we were expecting them to go, "Yeah, there's some tip feed allegations. There are some allegations." I forgot about the hammer thing, to be honest, because it wasn't like a thing, and we did not expect it to be showed like that.
Hey, hold on a
Just so I
second.
can Chuck and Ghost Rider. Ready, aim.
We're just
Ready, aim.
we're just gonna light
Oh, I can't hear it. Did it play?
Ready.
It played, yeah.
A little
Keep
later.
not going back far enough.
So we have a few people talking about money, right? I mean,
give up.
we're not making money at bots, but Space Reptile thinks that we're gaining fun. Is it actually fun, would you say?
Who are you
Well,
asking?
Like the group in general. I mean, do you have fun while you're actually at bots?
I mean, hopefully that's kind of why we're doing it. I
Yeah.
mean, it's masochistic problem that we have. Oh yeah, give me battle bots. I need that pain.
The trick of it is you have to make the best of it. You might
The real trick is
you
not
might
to
be
work on the bots.
you might be stuck in a porta potty where it's spewing shit out at you, and you just gotta laugh at it.
Yes, the river of shit is real. That the overflowing porta potties. That was 2 years in a row now that happened.
You can't take yourself too
It
seriously.
spewed. It exploded with pressure upwards, landing on.
Tiny Hands was in the other toilet pressurizing it.
Yeah, I was.
Pretty tight seal.
It like spewed human waste on Zach from Scorpios, and he was like, I have to leave. He had to go back and change.
This man had a
shower.
walk.
That would be so
Covered in
horrible.
waste.
And this is what's so funny about like the comments on Reddit that are like, BattleBots is the most elite robot combat event.
Yeah.
They're gonna have skills that are perfectly calibrated. They can't even have
Yeah.
toilets that don't spew waste on the participants. Like, no, that's not what we're.
They almost poisoned us the first year I went with the
Raw
Oh,
chicken.
it was
Yeah.
the food was bad.
I mean, Parks, you can get on this too. Are you good to your people that you got to work with?
What do
Is
you mean?
production taking care of better?
It's nice to
I mean, but I guess the perp you
depends.
are working
No,
with are actually
'cause
getting paid to
he's
be there, so that's
production.
different.
For the first 4 years of BattleBots, production had their own food court in
They
the
still
back.
do.
They do. Yeah,
We
they're
only
getting,
do separate food. If
they're
it's
getting
like,
omelets every day, whereas
then
we
they're
get
treating you guys like
the
extras
pre-made
because
stuff.
Everyone on production has their own food trucks, their own food, and the only people who get the bad food are the extras. So you guys are being treated like extras.
the extras get paid to be there.
Well,
so we're not even
literally-
extras.
We're treated like
We
props.
literally are extras on this show.
Yeah, throw us in a closet. We're just a prop. That's all we are.
Well, they call extras moving
Contract
props.
to not call us talent. They're very clear in contracting that we are not employees.
It's basically
We're not talent.
No.
Yes,
Oh.
they are
Not
specifically
as
claimed to
far
not be
as the
talent.
money and the contracts go.
So are we participants because it's like a game show?
I don't know.
It's not allowed to be a game show. There's laws
yeah.
governing game shows that require fairness. That
Wouldn't that be crazy?
No, seriously, they'd have a huge they'd have a huge problem with some of their practices if they were considered a game show. They
Right.
can't-
Wait, you're saying BattleBots isn't
They're
fair?
not a sport. We can't bet. There's not enough oversight into the judging. There's not enough oversight into the rules.
Yeah.
Dad and I looked at it after one of the years that we were particularly bitter, and they can't be a game show.
I remember
They can't be a game show. They can't be I guess the closest fit would probably be reality show, but I
Yeah.
don't know how aligned with that the participants are in a reality show. I don't know what.
I
the
remember
contracting's
looking through
like
the
for them.
NDA and I was like, it doesn't say builder anywhere. It
Right.
says talent or crew. And technically the builders are
Right.
neither.
We
Neither.
looked at the-
Neither.
they make us sign a contract acknowledging we are neither of those.
Yeah, we're not even extras.
So in theory, you can make an argument that you could say whatever you wanted because you're never mentioned in the.
Yeah, I'm sure that'd go really well.
My tinfoil hat then is that, part of the reason why they moved to Las Vegas is to get away from the Hollywood locals and SAG-AFTRA. And
I'm sure.
Probably.
Well, I know
Probably.
that in particular one of the
I wouldn't
big
even say tinfoil hat. I'd say that's pretty
No, that's
solid
true.
rock there.
But one of the big situations one of the years was the bathrooms, and I remember there was a bunch of women in the BattleBots group being like, "No, we need separate bathrooms." And technically, we also looked this up by California law. If it's a single stall bathroom, it can't be gendered.
They're all gender neutral.
What?
They're all gender neutral, right?
Yeah, the single stall bathrooms have to be gender neutral, and there were women in the BattleBots group who would be, by other terms, very woke, essentially, being like, men are disgusting, actually, and we need separate bathrooms. I was like,
and yet I went into the women's that year, and it was nastier.
It's
than
awful.
The men's.
I can comment, but we did the math on this too, and we calculated sort of the percentage of men versus women in the BattleBots groups, and discussions on that can be had, whatever. But the number of women using the number of bathrooms was like 50 women to about 5 bathrooms every day. And the number of men using the same number of bathrooms was about 500 for 5 bathrooms. So of course they're grosser. And I know that like the lines for the men's rooms were frequently longer, so much so that I know people who were like, screw this, I'm going into the single stall women's because this is ridiculous.
They could fix this with just a piss station for the guys, just outside.
You
don't need a bathroom for that.
Is the handicap. The handicap is like a wild card thrown in there.
It's the secret spot. It's the guys who
trailers or bathrooms,
like a casual sit down.
That's where like the custodians go. They always sneak away.
That's where I go. Half the people. Let me tell you this: half the people at BattleBots don't even know about the handicap bathroom.
Well, they do now.
Yeah, they
What I don't understand
figured it
is
out.
that
Yeah.
for the 50 women across the 5 women's restrooms, how it's
And they don't know the good pit space next to the bathrooms.
Well, next to the COVID
smoking
area.
Yeah, next to
The
the
testing
It's almost
area.
more worth it to just walk back to the hotel sometimes.
It's definitely cleaner.
It's definitely cleaner.
And there was days that it was shut down because for
Yeah.
some reason somebody decided to throw full water bottles down. It just happens to be the
Yeah.
exact right size to get into the hole.
There's some
right.
There's some,
and it wasn't just one time
Sid,
either.
Don't look at us like that, Sid. We know it was you.
You're gassing us out. That's the real controversy.
Hey, is this water bottle gonna fit out of my ass?
I think Sid's like, you don't know the entertainment value of throwing water down the toilet.
Listen, I got to get whatever competitive advantage I can get. Like,
wasn't
it's psychological.
if all of y'all,
the
if y'all
bathroom.
can't go to the bathroom before the fight, this
see.
is better for me.
Can't believe this stream immediately turned into toilet humor in 30 seconds.
It's not even toilet humor.
Dick.
There's no joke.
Dick.
It's just
It's
We're 2
joke.
hours.
It's the
We're 2
reality of
hours
being at
in.
BattleBot.
We have no commercial yet. Are we doing a commercial or not?
Do you have a commercial?
We
I
don't
don't know.
have to. We
I
don't
know where
have
it
to.
is. I'd love to. I gotta find it. Okay, keep going. I'll find it.
Well, let's talk about somebody stealing all the power from everybody because there was too cold in the pit. You want to talk about this?
Oh my god!
Listen, we're a very innovative team. All right, like
SoCal.
you see a problem, our team members are there to fix it.
I respect it.
Yeah. So I mean, well, first we were like, we tried to use the gas heaters in our pit, and they were like, "Yeah, you can't do that." And we were like, "Okay, oops." And then we put them, and then I don't know. I think we put them back or we returned them, and then we got electric heaters for the last something days, and those were very nice. So I mean, I would fully recommend it. I just wasn't expecting it to get that cold. I didn't even bring a jacket.
Yeah, let's be clear.
I remember
that AC unit in the corner was the only one that was on.
Yeah,
They kept our AC on for 3 days after it didn't get above 60 degrees in the.
And did you know they could switch it to heat?
They didn't figure that out until later.
Not ours.
It took them 3 days to turn the heat on. in the place.
We went up to production all 3 days. We're like, hey, You probably don't need the AC on today. Can you turn that off? Oh yeah, we'll get somebody on that. 3 days.
It was genuinely
to find the
colder
guy.
inside than it
It
was
was
outside.
unbearable. It was
Yeah,
unbearable.
it was bad.
It was
But
so
you know-
cold. You'd go outside and stand in the sun and be like, why is it warmer out here?
Yeah.
In the
It's at
sandstorm.
60 degrees.
You'd literally walk out at like 11. You walk out when the pits closed, and you'd be like, "Wow, I can take off my jacket? No way."
What
Yeah.
a great
Vegas.
temperature.
Every time we go there, it's horrible weather all the time. It was snowing
also
the last time
rained.
we were there.
Raining,
It rained when we were there.
snowing. Yeah.
Wow.
What is too cold?
Inside
Dude,
is very different. Cold
for me-
outside, that's a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
Too cold is not cold enough. I hate
how much
Vegas
is the
weather.
wind?
I don't want to sweat my ass off the whole time I'm sitting there.
Comfortable
That
40
is
sucks.
65.
inside?
65 degrees is comfortable.
It was AC
Cold's when the
blowing out.
radiator freezes over.
Word here.
Ooh.
We're playing the same ad.
Yeah,
That's all-
Reese, you got to
that's
make
all
a
we
new
got.
ad if you're gonna
It's
have
all
an
we
ad
got.
on here.
This is
Okay,
old
That's all we
hat.
got.
It's still funny. Okay, this show is probably sponsored by Reese's merch shop.
Good evening, bot fans. Reese Ewart here. I've been browsing through my Fusion merchandise store, and I noticed you have not bought anything. What?
These nuts.
Is a Fusion bikini not good enough for you? Does it not add enough lift in your bosom? Are you telling me that this bikini doesn't look good? Because I got news for you. It's soft, it's comfortable, and it adds 2 cup sizes. We've got everything for men and women. Check out these leggings, folks. My God, this blue pair. Oh, you've even got a little kiss. Straight from my heart. T-shirts, more skirts, V-neck shirts for women. Oh, I know you ladies like this quarter zip pullover. We've even got a deck of cards. Beach towels? Are you kidding me? And how could you forget about the panties? Of course, signed by Reese Ewart, right on your ass cheek. And of course, we have the bikini. Available in many strap colors.
Black, white, red, yellow, purple, pink, navy, light pink, ocean, and orange.
And all this is available
It has to be the
at
funniest part.
fusion.printify.me.
Talk about buying the brats the other day.
So you want to get into that story? First off, I'd like to memorialize this portion of the segment by the Catholic Church of America. So we have a lot of viewers on this show. One of them,
135 actually right now. Thank you all for coming, by the way.
one of them has turned out to be my priest.
Do you regret anything?
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell the story. It's Cinco de Mayo in Wisconsin here, and we got some good Mexican shops, right? There's 2 good stores within about 10 minutes of our shop here. They're really, really good. So I was telling our secretary, hey, we should get some Mexican. I'll buy some tacos for the whole group here. We'll get some tacos up here. Well, then Friday came along, Cinco de Mayo, and she's like, oh, there's this brat fry going on. If y'all don't know what a brat fry is, it's where they set up this shop on a corner of a highway and they sell brats. And it's kind of seems like a Wisconsin thing. You don't really see it
It's a
anywhere
Wisconsin thing.
And so they had this brat fry going. She's like, well, let's just do the brat fry instead of tacos. And I forgot to call them the previous day anyway, so it would be really hard to get the tacos. I'm like, all right, we'll get the tacos or the brat fry. So I went up there and it's raining. It's raining men. Hallelujah. I get out of my car and I see my priest standing up there by the brat fry. And I said, well, hello, Father. How you doing? It's like, oh, good. And, Go up there. I order 18 brats. It was like $70 for the whole group. He starts talking to me, and he says, "Yeah, I've been watching BattleBots lately. What are some rule changes you have problems with?" And he asked me about the new rule change about the cat walking and being able to hit an opponent, or if it should just be like called done at that point.
The cat walking?
Crab walk.
The hell's cat walking?
Crab walking. I'm sorry, I got cats on the brain.
Cat brain.
A lot of cat milk here.
Understandable.
That's one for bingo.
Cat scratch
So-
fever.
Cat milk talk.
So we were sitting there talking, and then all of a sudden he says, "Yeah, I've been watching your live stream too." And at that point, my priest is standing there. He tells me he's seen the live stream, for which I am not necessarily proud of every moment on this stream. That was like a sucker punch straight from God. And he's telling
God's
me,
messenger.
then he says, "Yeah, I can't hack it for 3.5 hours." I'm like, "Really?" So the problem's the length, not what I'm saying on there.
Content.
And then I'm like,
Coming from a guy that does sermons for a living.
I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. I just try to make people laugh, and people pay me to drink every now and again. So that's pretty good. That's better than having to like pay for your own drinks. And he's like, he just looks at me. No, I disagree. Because he doesn't drink, right? He's a priest. That's
Reese, at
pretty
least
much it.
This is going to save you some time on your next confessional, because he's seeing. He already knows.
Yeah. You got anything to confess right now? Got any exes that came knocking by your door last week?
I had a joke loaded up, but I cannot say it. I cannot say it.
Reese holding
it's bad
back.
if you
That
say-
should be
yeah.
on the bingo card.
Yeah.
Well, you just mentioned his ex. That's another one to go.
6 bells in the morning. He's got to get up and fix that boat for sale.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In other news, on the Reese team here, I got a
Team
tattoo.
Oh yeah,
tattoo.
yes. Let's see
I got
these
a tattoo.
tattoos.
Oh,
no.
So it's a heart. It's a heart. And get this. I got a joke for it. I'm pretty hardcore.
Got it.
Wow. Okay. Chat, was that lame?
Yeah, super
F
lame.
F for lame. F for lame in the chat.
Yeah.
Hyped it up too much. He
Oh.
could have just said it, but instead he made us all wait.
Oh man, our viewership's dropping.
So now we're
Yeah.
superior to entry
Plummeting.
here. Whyachi
Not-
Pepper's been-
Now
tell
show
her
them
the
the
writer's
other
cut.
tattoos you got at the same time.
So yeah, the local this was Wednesday. Local tattoo shop was running like a 3-for-1 special, right?
Jesus.
It's back in this alley. I don't think they were selling crack, but it might have been meth, something like that.
Oh, good.
So I got this one.
Oh,
can't hardly see
no.
Yeah,
What is that shit?
it's a bull.
Good
It's a
question.
booby.
Okay,
It's a booby.
okay. What is that, chat? Does that
What
look
is
like
it?
Taurus,
a
right?
vagina and
Jake
some
says
saggy
it's a
boobs on there?
vagina
Is that
and
what it
some
looks?
boobies.
Yeah,
It's a
it kind of
belly.
does.
It's a
With,
belly
like, the
button
little
and
triangle
two
towards the belly button.
and the waist,
The
legs, the leg
Yeah,
V,
totally.
the leg V, the belly button, and the boobs.
So we're all cool with vagina then, right?
No, there's no vagina
No,
on there.
not for you.
What is it supposed to be, Reese?
That's this piece, right? That's
It's
right
upside
here.
down. It's upside down. So technically, I got.
Oh no, you got it upside down
Yeah, it's an A. It's an A.
for Reese.
It stands for alpha.
Yikes.
Look at him making
yeah.
stuff up on the fly.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. And what's the other one? Come on now.
Tramp stamp.
Yeah, the one on my dick I can't show tonight.
Oh.
There's one on the other side. Show it. Where is it? Come on.
Nah,
Don't let them hang.
We've done enough. I gotta wait until I get another 3-for-1 special and I get 3 more, and then we'll show.
Well,
They
when
look
he does
good,
this,
though.
chat, we're gonna
They
throw
look
this out, and
smart,
we're gonna
though.
let you make the artwork, and he's gonna pick from it.
No, Team Whyachi tattoo.
Yeah.
I've been waiting for him to tattoo on the new fusion design. That way I know that's the one he really wants to go with.
I'm set. Y'all are finally getting on board with it.
Mm-hmm.
If you get a fusion tattoo, is it going to spontaneously catch fire?
No doubt. This is exactly why. So, chat, do you have any other questions for the RIPtide guys? Because we can give them an out to leave right now if they would like to, because it's only going to get worse for them now. Right?
I have a question for Sid.
For
Oh,
us,
yes, excellent. We got a real question. Let's go.
How dare you?
Well, Tom's question for this.
Too many things
How
I've been
dare
accused
you?
of. Too many things
Gives you the right.
to know to be able to defend myself.
Hilarious. Yeah, Ryan, I have a question. How dare you?
Huh. Parks, let's go. Come on.
That was all I had.
That was it.
Oh, that was. Oh, Jesus. That went over my head. Yeah, okay.
You didn't read a book or anything this week? Smug Park read a
no.
book.
Oh,
What is the last book I read?
people want to know, when are you going to put a banner poll higher than Team Whyachi?
Y'all,
See, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen because
Yeah.
we come with 2 extra polls.
Just in case that
We're
happens.
gonna hang it from the ceiling next time. Actually.
Oh, or a balloon, a blimp.
a helium balloon.
we weren't like, we don't have an extra banner to cover yours up with. Like, I don't know what we were trying to do there, but there was no option for us to even cover yours. We didn't have an extra banner. All we had was the one hanging underneath our table.
So
That would have been really funny.
In fairness, normally that workbench is on the other side, but this time it ended up there because of where the door and the COVID line and crap was. So that was us just not thinking about the issues. But I showed somebody. There was an online a TV interview of you guys in the pits, and I'm like, see, that's the banner. That's the banner they're talking about.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
right.
we didn't
there.
like, we were chill with it. It was funny, but
And the
like,
big red tent, too. That
Yeah,
just
right.
right in the background.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we're gonna
yeah,
have
that
a
was-
tent too next year. I'm sure. Be one of the cool kids.
yeah. Well, we tried to have one
Our
this
little
year, but we
tent.
got like a Walmart ass tent, and then it collapsed, and we could.
Yeah, you got to buy the real 10-foot
we were
tent.
tent pioneers.
I mean, did you guys do it first, or did?
Oh,
NJ
for sure.
Yeah,
For
do
sure.
it?
We brought a
Nobody
10
had
by
a tent.
20 carport in one season.
God.
Our
So
whole,
we could cover
basically
it and
half
take our
our
masks
pit.
off in the.
Well,
in the
usually
tent.
it's outside.
I got that
Yeah.
one.
We prefer the pit outside.
Yeah, they didn't let us.
Really?
Oh yeah.
In
Oh,
Long
for sure.
Beach.
Yeah, it's away from people. We get to do our own thing.
Don't have to
Take a grinder out there, just do our own stuff.
Yep. We got
Reese
hassled.
loves
this year.
it.
And you can help throw garbage.
I've
into
actually
the
never
dumpster.
been on Grinder or Tinder.
Okay.
Never.
Well, where did this come
Something
from?
good.
You meant somebody mentioned Grindr.
That was great.
But the tent thing was really genius. We were like, hey, we'll like make a little private area when the pits were massive for the COVID restrictions.
Follow-up question for Reese. So does that mean one can
Yeah.
find you on Bumble or Hinge?
Just
is that?
OnlyFans. Just OnlyFans.
Match.com.
He's on eHarmony.
It's Christian Mingle, actually.
Midgets meat.
Farmers
Midgets
only.
meat.
If you go on Grindr and find your priest, will you swipe for him?
Ooh.
Yikes.
That has something to do with my joke, which is why I'm not going to say it. Because he watches.
Oh, boy.
He watches.
Great
all right?
restraint.
This is good.
Growth, everyone.
Ah,
The
yeah.
growth.
He said the Lord is watching me. I did not know that.
Well, it's priesthood, which is
That's the same thing.
that's
It's a
tantamount,
conduit, right?
right?
Yeah.
We're not Catholic. We don't know. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The
Shameful. You are.
Let me throw
There's a
something
couple-
out there to the RIPtide guys.
Yeah, how many more questions you got? Because you went on the Reddit excursion, right? Trying to find all the most hated questions you could find for him. Pointed ended.
Oh, my roommates had a great idea. They said you should grab all the hate comments and then put them in a little bucket, like a little trash can, and then pull them out and read them.
That would be excellent. That's a good idea. Why didn't you tell us that before we got on here?
I just thought it was a little too
roommates. Hey Tom,
did not think I was going to help.
How old is your new king?
How old is my new king? He's 74.
Really?
He's old as fuck.
How many votes did he get?
You know, it doesn't always work out so great, you know, having your leaders being that old.
Oh. Good question, Raven. Good question. Tom, I'm going to steamroll you here.
Thanks.
That is a good question.
Do you guys care about the Reddit hate?
So, realistically, I mean, out of everyone on our team, I'm the only one that's like, I'm the layer between our team and the online world for the most part. So I'll read through it, and sometimes, you know, like, people will say things that are really rude, and I'll be like, wow, that's sad. And sometimes it'll make me sad. But for the most part, it's just like, okay, well, people, I mean, if they don't know what happened, then I can't, you know, there's nothing for me to get upset about, because it's like we're simulating our own little world over there in Reddit.
Oh yeah, this is our carport that we had the one year. We encapsulated the whole TV, and we had our chairs set up in there and stuff.
You look like you look like a merch stand for like.
There's a couch over here for sleeping.
Where do you store your hidden ground game for just signing?
Oh, that's out in the open. Everybody can see that stuff. Okay. Yeah, we don't hide that. You come over to the pits, we'll show the bot anything. We don't hide anything. It's out in the open.
It's intimidating. It's intimidating to be that forthcoming.
Yeah.
So you're just like,
I'll say something and I'll get yelled at for saying something, and then I'll watch Jake literally give like 1,000% more detail about that thing that I. I'm like, okay. I mean, I get. Like, if it's gonna come from anybody, it should come from Jake. But like, I just think it's funny.
Yeah, but that was good. I mean, me personally, I was on Reddit the first couple years of being useful, and then after the whole bike rack incident, then we were on there for a while, okay, and then I ex-nate it. I only go on there to see like the memes or what the main content is, and then we're off. Occasionally now I'll hit up the Discord, mostly just during episodes, just to troll people on there. But otherwise, that's why we're here now. I mean, we can't.
Oh, Reese is trying to show something.
They can't stop us.
What?
From getting out our truth.
Full screen for you.
Yeah, well, they can if you're in the Discord, apparently.
Yes, because you got muted, boy.
Just read the bottom one.
Don't touch your notepad parts.
Why? Why can't? Why do you have the monopoly on taking notes? I'm trying to learn.
Hey, Rachel.
This is his only chance.
Rachel, this is a fun story. This is the job she hates the absolute most.
That's not true. Walmart runs I like. Walmart runs I like. It's the ones where Terry describes like a nebulous thing they might use, and I don't understand what it's for, and he's like, so I don't understand what the barrier is.
Yeah, and they only go up to like a 3/8 drill bit, and we're looking for like a half inch
It's that. It's like find a big pry bar, and I'm like, what's it for? Because that would maybe help. Like, what's the good enough standard?
Well, who went and got us that fucking pipe wrench?
Well, yeah,
the really big pipe wrench. Who got the really big pipe wrench? Like the 5-footer.
We got the big, like, massive pry bar that they like fucking wrenched on stuff with. But originally that was like a rebar bender.
I think I ended up going back out.
It was for like this purpose of bending's big thing, where they needed like a little nubbin, and I didn't know what they needed it for, so we were looking for this item.
We went like 4
where something else would have been good enough, and that was really challenging. Like going to Walmart for like White Monster and like snacks and lunch meat because everybody's on keto. Like that stuff is easy because I go and I know what I'm looking for because I understand what lunch meat is. It's when like some random tool they're not going to use for what the tool is intended that I can't help with.
Yeah,
Rachel, I need that tool or I don't know what's good enough.
Rachel, get me a 6-foot metal bar. You're
right,
like,
and I'm
what
like,
the hell am I supposed to get a 6-foot metal
I'm actually
bar?
something. There's a hilarious picture of Trevor like
sharp flat point, round point.
What's funny is
what are we looking at?
The rebar bender story. there was one of the things that Terry got when we went back out with Terry and Dick was literally, I was like, is this gonna work? Would this work? Would this be good enough? And it was like one of the first things that you grabbed, Terry, and then I think you also grabbed the big wrench and like a couple other things. And I was like, man, I wish it was just as easy. It's like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah, Terry just
you never have enough tools. You never have enough tools.
I'm calling him like 6 times, like, is this gonna work? I'm sending him pictures, and he's like, no, not that. And I'm like,
Tiny hands. I got a question. What's the deal with your shirt? Are you trying to advertise that you're a sinner, or what the hell's going on?
I thought it would be appropriate.
My priest is gonna be pissed.
Well, guys,
Reese,
we're all
not
sinners.
all sinners and seek of forgiveness.
That's correct.
He's also got the one,
That's correct.
the B word one, right?
I have a necklace that looks like one of those like very popular styles of necklaces where it says your own name and like a nice script, and it just says bitch. And that's actually pretty funny. I actually accidentally wore it to our engagement photos, and our photographer was like,
I'm sorry, Father Tim.
I think the funniest thing is that I got it for her as a gift.
Yeah.
And she tells people that, and like they're like, is everything okay?
Yeah. we've been in bars where like I'll say something sort of like prodding, like to poke fun, and he'll be like, bitch. And like men who are kind of listening in will just be like, and wait for my reaction, and I'll be like, bitch.
And, wow, that shirt is not a shirt. That's like
it's not a shirt.
It's basically a bra. I see that now.
It's a shirt.
It's half a shirt at least.
It's a shirt.
Half a shirt. It's got sleeves at least.
It's got sleeves.
Hey, it's like 3/4 of a shirt.
I'll take it because I'm used to being half a star, so I'm good with her having half a shirt.
Generous. No, why would I need to try vegan dumplings when real dumplings exist?
Oh, what is that? Oh, I don't want that. Yeah.
My roommate's vegan, and sometimes the vegan stuff does taste a little better, I will say.
Well,
but
listen, my opinion on this is that unless you have some sort of like grand moral thing that you've got going on, like the vegan cheese, when people are like, oh, it's basically the same, I'm like, it isn't, or it would just be cheese. Like that's
just don't lie to me. Just be like, listen, I'm just a vegan.
Yeah, that's my other thing too. Is that like vegan options exist.
We have somebody saying tube top.
Imitate.
Somebody not saying tube top.
It's not a tube top.
It's got sleeves.
It's not a tube.
Crop top. Crop top.
See, look at Sid, Zach, Stan. They're pretty much over this conversation already. Look at them.
We might have lost them a little bit.
I mean,
so anyway, back to RIPtide cheating. Every fight.
Yeah, that's better. I like that.
Yeah, so Sid, when did you, and Zach, you can answer this too, when did you guys decide, oh, we can't win fair, we might as well start
right before the bathrooms blew up. See cause and effect? Yeah.
Wait, you did that. You did that to put everybody off on that instead of on you. I see.
Exactly.
Smart.
See, the first year you went, you kicked ass, and then in the off season you're like, oh, how can we kick ass better? So we're gonna have to cheat.
Yeah, but almost all the matches are against Shatter.
Oh, you know what? It's not even cheat, Dick. Tinfoil hat time, Parks.
Uh-oh.
Let's start a rumor about ourselves that we are cheating to get more airtime.
That would work if the whole
that's playing 4D chess right there.
But that way, you and us could compete for who's the better, for who's the biggest villain on a given.
Would you guys say RIPtide has like a third of your wins is over Shatter?
It's 2 out of like
at least 2 of them.
2 out of I don't know 8,
13, I think.
Oh, is that what it is?
Not many.
Oh no, it's yeah. I have all your fights from. We're counting last year, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
If you're including the ones that weren't aired too, I see what he's doing.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not counting those.
And then,
Okay, Tom. I'm sorry.
13,
I did
5, and 8.
steamroll you.
Two
We've been about 7 minutes since you've been on air, so this is your chance. Ask your question.
Tom, how many priests
or multiple
you got over
questions?
There? You got a lot of priests in Britain?
This year it's 5 fights, right?
I think
Yes.
it's 11 total.
It's
I think we've had
5
11
fights
wins.
So far.
Okay, 5
far.
fights. Riptide huge last year.
Huge.
Defender Riptide last year. Riptide
we
Duck
lost.
last year.
We lost Defender.
Riptide Shatter last year. Oh, we're talking about only wins? Because
Oh, I thought we were talking.
No,
Oh,
keep going.
Let's
Keep going.
just count them.
Riptide Shatter last year. Riptide Uppercut last year. Sawblaze Riptide. Riptide Jackpot. Riptide Bloodsport. It's 13. You've had 13 fights so far, and two of them were
fights so far.
Yeah, two of them were
Two of
Shatter.
them were not aired. Two of them were not aired, actually.
Oh, weren't they?
Well, they were
Yeah.
the Bloodsport and Jackpot.
And
So-
Jackpot.
And we.
Oh, they were just quick covered ones.
Those were the
Two great
Vengeance and
fights.
Vegas. Those were the. Yeah, those were really fun actually. Those were
Amazing
the
fights.
grudge matches.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but you didn't like go on a tirade about your fights not being shown.
They showed them enough. I think they showed them, and it was. I wish they'd had like the actual commentary over it, because I don't know. I think Chris and Kenny did commentate them.
Yeah, I think they do.
Just don't
They
like
do-
spend
they
the
do
time to
every
like
fight.
produce the.
Yeah, they did.
Last
Well, thank you for
last year
checking
there
the,
was
like,
something, or was it this year? There was fights when Chris wasn't there. Was that last year?
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
there was
and
like one-
actually,
There was.
It's some NFL
Yeah.
commitments.
yeah.
I think there was a couple.
And
yeah.
I think Bot Whisperer stepped in for him a couple of fights.
Did you guys bury the pickaxe with Team Shatter yet?
I saw that. That's a great picture.
Their dick
I don't
has
know.
been buried deep
Oh,
inside
hang on.
Shatter.
All right, Weasel. We're gonna have to start
Where's
muting
the
you
two
here pretty
spicy
quick.
potato
Better
chips?
stop that.
This is where we say we really appreciate the design of Shatter, and how it's a different design than many other bots, and we appreciate their engineering.
Did it
cool.
help
That's
that
what
he
it's
had
saying.
like nice rollers on it, so it just skirted across the box super nicely?
You know, they got the Omni wheels running. That's
Yeah.
They were. I watched the
not
pre-cut
easy
video.
to
and
They had
then
some
were
trouble.
having
They had some trouble
They had
with
some
it
issues,
initially,
and then it looked like they were driving. I mean, they were driving like really well, at least relative
Bot
to
did great.
the previous fights this season. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, they lasted longer. I don't know if they had like thicker UHMW on their sides than last year, but they lasted longer. I mean, our hits.
What
did
was
not-
it? Your longest fight of the season?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Like
Or maybe-
a
maybe-
minute 13
no, yeah,
or
I think
something like that?
Yeah, they're all really short.
Can't
What
quite
else?
make it a minute
Maybe
30.
Maybe
It was like 2
Shredderator was
minutes.
longer.
What are
I
your
don't know, I think-
thoughts on ablative armor and the rules around ablative armor?
I think it's a
And the weight
slippery
of ablative
slope.
armor.
I think it's a slippery slope because if it was really insanely good, then everyone would be throwing something on and going, this is meant to come off, and like,
right.
I mean, people already like, I think Bloodsport started doing this, and then we took inspiration from it as well. But like, people were adding wedgelets that are like meant to break off as soon as after like one hit, and like,
I never called it a blade of armor, but that's what Hydras are designed to do.
Yeah,
They're designed to break before the mount falls off.
right. And yeah, I know Bloodsport had an issue with that before, but they've been. I think they've designed it better, and then it's a lot better now. But I think,
Do you
I
think
don't know.
something should happen with the wedgelet game?
Yeah, sports ruining the sport.
Do you like having to play that all the time?
I'm not in the
Spicy.
position to comment about like what BattleBots should do because we are doing great right now. And like we really started playing the ground game this year. We didn't really touch it last year. We had basic wedgelets and that was it. So I'm fine with them like from a I want to win point of view, and like I like the floor. From a maybe we need to make this as interesting as possible. I think it'd be funny if they added random bumps in the middle, like little.
Yeah,
I would agree.
little raised
I would
bumps.
agree.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I mean,
There is. I hit them all the time. All right.
yeah,
There's already problems in there.
Get rid of the kill saws. Add like
Yes.
raised humps
yeah.
instead.
Some-
Kill saws.
Some
And,
sort
like,
of
The whole box
obstacle.
is kill saws.
Maybe you'd
Every
be able
floor
to,
panel.
like, you'd still be able to play the ground game because it's not everywhere, but people can actually strategize around it. Like Claw Viper can go hide right, get these humps between them and endgame if they want to, and then they have an
Yep.
advantage, right?
And now you have a third driver on your team. He's the shield operator who lifts and lowers your wedges as you go around the box.
Yeah, like an automatic speed bump.
Don't give away any secrets. What are you doing, jerk?
No. He's got a plan to get rid of his cats and use them as a blade of armor.
Yeah, we put really light aluminum cages around the bot and just fill it with cats, and then only a
'Cause you can't
jerk
hit
would
me.
hit you. Yeah,
You
only a
can't
jerk
hit
would
me.
hit you.
It's
There's
illegal.
actually-
Actually, you're going to be killing my cats. So
He's going to say there's a rule against it. There is.
I think the other rule that's I think a little interesting is the fact that apparently I'm happy to be corrected. Apparently, like internal spinners, like if it's covered up, you can spin them up before the match starts.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I do that on Hydra.
I thought,
and there's also no speed limit on internal spinners.
Right.
And I remember because someone on Endgame, I mean, they love to play this game, but they were like, well, what if I just put a thin ablative cover over my big spinner and then spin up before the thing, and then as soon as I run into someone, my thing just bends and breaks, and then I have a spinner.
Yeah, like a paper
what's stopping you
mache.
from doing that?
Yeah.
Well, if it's enough to protect them against, like, something, if it was to hit a wall, it wouldn't necessarily break. But if they hit hard enough, then it comes off. I would almost allow it.
Why would
I
they
think wasted weight on their part.
I don't
then.
know how
Why
they
would
would
they have
regulate
teeth
against
on
that.
a flywheel, on an internal flywheel?
That's
yes.
also the thing, yeah.
You might not be able to have teeth on it.
I mean, if it's a smooth drum, it shouldn't matter.
I mean, what if you make it an oval?
Exactly.
Or like a rectangle? Like, what if I really wanted to spin a rectangle inside my robot? I just don't see them creating a rule for that.
It's probably a use case thing where they know you're using it as a weapon, whereas other places you have it hidden so that
That's
it
where the
doesn't take a hit.
selection- Yeah.
So here's a thought experiment. I kind of like these. If you were against Rotator or Valkyrie, what would you bring?
Ooh, this is just me.
Sure.
Maybe we have a pretty sharp wedge actually.
Yeah.
We got this made actually during BattleBots and we didn't use it. We haven't used it, but like we have a very sharp wedge where like we took our TI wedge and we went and we had it faced at an angle. So like it's really sharp. I think it would do pretty well against at least Valkyrie because I don't know. I mean, they don't play the ground game. Rotator, maybe. I think Rotator is more of a driving match. I don't know. Maybe
You wouldn't run the same stuff you used against Shredderator?
Well, the only reason we ran that against Shredderator is because we didn't have the weight for the full wedge.
Right.
So we cut it and we split it and then we flipped them. Yeah. So that's the wedge we'd run. Yeah. So this specific wedge has this really sharp facing. It's really cute.
Oh, so it's like a chisel. Like a chisel. It goes on the ground. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is, and that was done flat on the piece afterwards. So
yeah.
I think that would work pretty well.
So that's Ty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Question. So what's the plan for Hypershock since they're your next opponent?
Ooh. So, well, we know Hypershock has, they do play, I mean, they play at least a little bit at the ground game. And we know they're really fast. We know
They got
hit really hard.
forks. They're fast. Yeah.
Yeah. So our thing is like the strengths that we knew going into this fight is that we're pretty wide. And also Hypershock has a lot of like exposed wheels and bits that you can grab. So
90% of the bot, yeah.
Yeah. The idea was as long as we can, if we can spin our weapon not as fast and then clip something, just and just avoid their weapon somehow, then I think we'll catch them off angle, and then that would go well for us. But
Raven, the ground game is that like certain bots, like Hydra, even RIPtide, they want to be under the opponent. So when they're hitting up, and the opponent wants to get under RIPtide so that when they hit, they're underneath them. So there's a lot of like who's getting lower and scraping the floor and whose spatula is winning on the spatula war. And this is a lot of pushing has to do with leverage. A lot of hitting has to do with leverage. So if you can get under them, you're picking some of them up, lifting them off the ground, adding their weight to you. Even a push bot wants to win the ground war. So
and you can actually see it in the shatter fight from this year. This year we have the long forks, which means that we can get under them earlier. So we, if we run at them and face on, we're definitely lifting them up because but the forks were at a lower angle than the wedgelet last year. So if you see the hits, some of the hits from this year were actually not as directed upwards because the forks. I mean, we were hitting them from higher up than we did last year. So there was one hit where they just slid across the ground instead of going up. Yeah, and that's what it does.
Yeah.
Similar sort of question to before. Hypothetically, if you make it past Hypershock, it's either Endgame or Copperhead. Who would you rather face, and what's the plan for either of them?
Yeah, definitely Copperhead. I mean, I love Endgame and I love their team, and they've always been really, really sweet to us, and they helped us out a lot. So just from like being able to fight an Endgame perspective, I'd love to fight them, but their robot is really good. And like at least so far we haven't really played that many teams. We haven't played almost anyone that's played the ground game like Endgame, because almost no one plays the ground game like Endgame except for like you guys, and then maybe the Seems Reasonable.
Well, wait. Are you putting Endgame ahead of Hydra in ground game? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, listen, they can play the ground
we
game
had our setup before they ever had their setup, right?
Yeah.
We caused this wedge problem.
Somehow, when they came out with it, they're called piano keys, but they originally
when they figured out the piano keys, we already had spring-loaded piano keys.
Yeah.
So,
hey, and Endgame, they go right into kill saw. We saw it. They just go right in.
Yep.
So
not that we're proud of it or like playing the ground game. We'd be better off without it.
You're right. Like, Hydra just doesn't move enough to get to the kill saws.
Ooh, burn!
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Yes.
There's no kill saws in the center of the arena.
I'm gonna have to just drive backwards through the bot from now on. You're gonna have to come after me. No aggression, just backwards.
Only when he goes up against a horizontal and puts that wedge on, so he's not.
Then you can drive.
Yes. Can everybody just take forks off, and then I just go with my heavy wedge, and we'll just call it good?
It'll be a fun exhibition fight. No ground game.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody's asking how do the little wedgeless and forks help with horizontal spinners? It just helps defeat their advantage. Like if they're a drum with forks and you're a horizontal like RIPtide, you're still gonna want to defeat their advantage by lifting you up.
Against someone like RIPtide, I mean, we wouldn't run the forks. I mean, or I don't know. Maybe we'd pull something cheeky like we'd probably pull something cheeky like Endgame, where like they did a little tack weld on their forks to the wedge and then broke it off. But like against RIPtide's vert config, you want to be running the forks, and against their undercutter config, you don't want to be running forks because they're probably just going to chew it up. And they're going to, as soon as they hit it, they're going to tear it off, or they're going to rip your or send your robot sideways, and that's not where you want to be.
You guys didn't fight RIPtide yet, right?
Not yet.
No.
You don't have to ever play their tacky configuration wars with multiple bots. Huh?
Yeah, coming with 2 bots up to the arena.
They eliminated the lock-in, didn't they?
No, they tried. They still try to do that. It's not an official rule. But I still hate the lock-in crap. It's just play your game.
Right.
Don't go over by other people and instigate it.
If you're going to lock something in, lock in the weapon. We're going to be a flipper.
I would bet you that RIPtide would be happy with run what you're brung. Like
what?
Safety one configuration.
Run what you brung.
Safety one configuration at the beginning, hey, a lot of places do this, right, Parks? There's like a script supervisor, and what happens is when you show up on set and you have a different hat or something, they're like, "Oh no, you got to change your hat," right? I want a script supervisor for BattleBots, and when Donald Hudson or somebody rolls in and they got a huge plow on the back and they don't have like the cool arms like they used to have, the script supervisor goes, the script supervisor just goes, no, bring me this robot. I want this one.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just a picture of the one they like in the beauty photos.
Oh, that
right?
would not have gone well for us.
The same bot that's in your hero shots, that should be on the field.
Well, Dick, I have bad news. That's a union job. They would actually have to pay someone to do that. So that's not
Are we gonna go over those fights so we can see that ass plow?
Yeah, I got it right here.
Mm-hmm. Tom, do you have another question while he's bringing it up? I know you got.
You got one for me?
No. Do you have a
We
question?
don't want. We're just letting
Well,
you know.
fuck you
that-
then.
Okay, sounds fair.
Tom, I love you. I'm sorry for Jake being such an asshole.
So here's the most
I wouldn't expect any less.
likely. Who did anybody really pick Jackpot? I mean, I like him, but I don't know.
Well,
I was
their
hoping they'd pick it up
opportunity
their
was
sleeves.
early on in this match.
Yeah, rewind to the beginning. Hit it up from the beginning. You can watch instantly. Mike gives him the
They got
backside.
first hitting.
Just
Gives him
drive
the
forward.
ass.
That's all it is.
Right
Just
here.
drive forward.
Yeah.
And they missed it.
They missed a golden opportunity there.
They missed
So,
the
yeah,
jackpot
there's some
shot.
driving involved.
Well, they got a fork off already.
This match
I
went
go-
really long, actually.
So everybody, I go double speed because I assume everybody's seen this already. So that's why we just don't need to. Oh, flipped them right up onto the shelf though. That's pretty cool. Oh, they're still going.
Man, BattleBots would be different if every bot was like 100% reliable. Like,
Or if just Fusion was 5% reliable.
25.
Listen, reliability takes lots of forms. It's reliable that it's going to catch on fire.
Well, good. If you didn't watch it, spoiler alert, you're watching it
an
now.
ass pounding before.
Oh, somebody's
then.
complaining?
No.
They wrecked them good.
Oh,
Look
yeah.
at that
It
shot on the
looks like a
side.
taco. It
Jackpot,
was
if you can.
crazy.
Yeah, Witch
Okay.
Doctor's hitting very hard.
Who would have picked Lucky in this one? Anyone?
Oh, me, absolutely. No, just
Okay.
Oh,
So,
come
so
on.
nobody. Okay.
All right.
That sounds about right.
You see-
I am surprised how
They
well
lasted 3 minutes.
the very little fork system that they had on there kept them at bay.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
got them flipped over.
Yep.
And then
And just the
Bales is
sheer
just freaking
fact of
out.
Will, hey, I'm just going to keep driving at the front. I'll
This
just keep
was-
driving at the front.
This was Hypershock, and it went 3 minutes.
Now
here.
look at this. This arm, Terry. This whole sidearm must be aluminum or something because it broke right at this pivot. You can see that this is bent and broke now. So that is the down position.
I think
Yeah,
that
well-
if this went perfectly for Lucky, this could have been like the P1 Hypershock situation from last year, where like, I mean, I don't think Hypershock's forks are enough to get through Lucky's front end, which
Yeah.
is interesting.
They
but-
had their side. 10 seconds ago, they had their side. They couldn't push under them.
Yeah, the forks, Hypershock's forks do inhibit them from hitting a couple of times where they can't get enough push to get the bot lifted up to them.
Because
Do you guys
they
ever
got
have the
the
problem
bar-
with your fork
the
systems?
barbed wire razor bullshit. That's
Yes.
that's also the problem with having curved wedgelets. As you get higher on the wedget, the force increases downward.
Yeah.
Fusion
We
had
don't-
this problem.
Oh,
Do you ever have a problem with the forks being too
Yeah,
too grippy?
I couldn't push under people.
We're not talking to you, Reese.
We're not talking to you now.
Oh, well, I actually I'm curious about Fusion, but I mean, for us, our forks are just not as they're more shallow, so I don't think we have this issue. And yeah, of course, we don't have the cool looking barbs.
Well, they're super long too. I mean, you're out there like what 20 inches or so, and
that's one of them. Yep.
I mean, they ever get bent up and broken?
Like every fight, they bent.
Yeah.
I think they actually. I think they came from Senkatend warped, and we had to flatten them out on the because they're just
press.
so thin, and when you heat them up like that, yeah, we used
Plasma
powder
cut?
press.
What kind of
they're
welded?
laser cut. Yeah.
Oh, I know
Yeah,
this really good water
theoretically.
jetter.
What kind of material?
Our forks are all AR.
And they're laser cut?
Yeah.
That's the story.
Should probably be water jet nose.
Mhm.
Well,
Yeah.
we've got this great sponsor called Senkatend. So
Yeah, but there's
we need another sponsor, maybe one located in the Midwest that can
Right.
cut
Well,
up.
You know what? I'll do it.
And we
You
in the
convinced me.
Midwest need another sponsor so that we can sponsor other robots.
Hey,
The shell game.
did this hammer do anything? I see you taking some direct hits from the most powerful hammer in the world.
There are, so they hit us and they ruined our front panel. So like behind our weapon, we have this panel that keeps the weapon from all our internals, and it messed up the front panel and we had to replace it.
Did it puncture? Did it go through the top and then damage internals? Like the
nothing due to Shatter's weapon. We did I think we had some minor damage. It's in the big group of photos. We had some minor damage to a wire that rubbed against some internal thing.
Yeah.
And we had to replace that. And we also had.
So why'd you stop hitting him? I mean, he was still moving.
Well,
he was still moving.
Did they not piss you off as much as Shredderator?
Yeah. What did they? Apparently, you're mad at Shredderator, but not these guys.
Well, these guys, we could see them not moving.
Yeah.
It was. We could actually see the robot, not moving, other than the weapon.
Yeah. In the TV edit, Adam was very adamant not to let Eric stop firing the axe at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just to show any kind of
Dick.
kind of life and not backing down.
No, and let's be clear
Can you
too
run the
about
Bloodsport match again.
Yep.
Just when they get flipped over.
Oh, this match is tragic.
Stan, you had a comment?
So if you watch
Yeah.
this, what happens is Donald's weapon's not moving and his tooth is upright, and somehow there's a fluke hit there from their horizontal on Bloodsport, right on that stationary tooth.
Took
and they get
just
flipped over.
enough energy out of it.
Just super weird.
To see him over.
Very unlucky.
Adaptive armor.
Okay, all you hold. Stan, what do you got?
Well, I just wanted to say, when you made the comment about were we not mad at these guys compared to Shredderator, we had no anger towards Shredderator at all. So let's just just to be super clear, there was
come
no
on,
anger towards
that's
them.
why. That's
do
why
you
I
now?
did that.
I apologize to say
And
that there wasn't any anger.
No, I mean, and with the Shadow team, we were upset at the situation going in, but it's not like we have anything against their team.
Well,
Their team is
and you can see how he literally backed off away from him, knowing that he was done, even though that they didn't say they were done. And there was nobody. A lot of people said, "Oh, well, production must have, really been upset at them and told those guys to change their attitude." Nothing like that ever happened.
No.
This is just the same.
Rules tell you to keep hitting them
if they're moving.
Yeah.
Well, they were moving.
I mean, we've played. It was funny because people were looking at the Black Dragon fight, and they were like, "Oh, production must have told them to calm it down."
Exactly.
After the Shredderator fight, and it was no, nothing happened. We just played
Nothing
the exact
changed.
same thing. It's just the situation was different, and so this problem didn't happen. So,
What was your reaction when he refused to shake your hands?
we said, well, I mean, we get how emotional BattleBots can be. It's you put a bunch of time into this, and then you go into the route of 32. Some weird things happen, and you get upset.
I mean, I would be pissed for them to throw so much shit at you throughout the whole day, and then them refuse it like they're winning this argument. Yeah.
Did you put yourselves in their mindset? Were they thought you were cheating, right?
Yeah.
No, they didn't. Come on.
I think they
did. Did they?
So because I don't know. It's weird because they made us that was the third weigh-in we'd done, right? This is the second time they'd asked us to weigh in. They'd asked us to check tip speed twice. To me, it seemed like they had already kind of made their mind about whether we were cheaters or not based on whatever rumors they'd heard.
Yeah. What was the order of events here? What it was multiple times. It was people hassling you. BattleBot's talking to you about speed. What was the order? Can you remember the order?
So the night before the fight, we got tip speed checked, which is just everyone at the box at that time got checked. And then after that, we got checked. We got weight checked the first time, which is just routine, and then we got reweighed because I don't exactly know why, but Shatter wanted us to reweigh in front of them, and so we did. And then we got tip speed checked, which they do every year. They did it to us last year, again, routine. But like the previous white check, it was a little weird. We were like, okay, well, this is a little odd. I don't know why they're doing that.
Did they want to see your forks, maybe?
I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
we had to take the blanket off to put it on the scale, but I'm not going to guess at what their intentions
You
were.
would just be speculating.
Why I would be pissed is because that just took the peak of my batteries away from them doing another speed check.
I mean, that's why we told them that we weren't going to do the second one without also replacing the batteries after.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that's when they were like, okay, we don't have to do the second tip speed check. But I mean, we had no reason to suspect anything was wrong on our part because the previous night's tip speed check, all good. We just talked to the BattleBot. We just talked to the production official about what our tip speed was, and like, yeah, it was not great to have you get investigated based off of pure rumors, right? And like just people going, that looks a little too fast.
So what are you spinning? Top speed,
what they
electrically.
Under 250.
Yeah. Let me interrupt here, Sid. You sent me this link. This is all good. I can show this stuff. This is not later.
No,
okay.
Yeah, you can show any of that.
Okay. So you can continue. I just wanted to be sure before I pulled this out.
Yeah. So I mean, this is we had some pre-fight. I actually had the somehow intuition to take a picture of our robot on the scale, and this was before. This was one of the previous weight checks. So I don't know. And then
I can't see it. Can you zoom?
This one?
Yeah, zoom it so we can see the scale.
Oh, you wanted to see the scale? It says 250.
Yeah. So I mean, every like when it says 250, like we want to be 250. Like we take out bolts to get under 250, and then if we're under 250, we put bolts back into the robot. Like we're gonna play right with the rules. And then I thought I'd take a little picture of us getting set up, and I thought it'd be cute to post it on our Instagram later on.
And what's happening here? Everybody doesn't know this, but there's a TV that we can't see right here, right? And all these people are watching fights going on in their arena.
Yeah.
And this is what is
Battery
this?
10.
Claw Viper? Claw Viper here?
Yeah, that's Claw Viper.
This looks like Diana, maybe?
That does look like Diana.
Yeah.
And then here's Shatter. Was that Malice right here?
Yeah.
That's one of the Davids.
RIPtide or Jackpot guy.
Jackpot, yeah.
Huge guy. Captain Shredder guy.
And then
This
I thought
is a
this
video.
was just a cute little. You can actually see Adam like filming their little pre-fight video, which I thought was funny. And then the rest of it is damage.
This is post-fight.
Yeah, that's post-fight.
So that's what the hammer did.
So we're caught up
nick
here.
up in the top.
Yep.
So that's the plate. So this is the only top armor we had. We got we had like one. Generally, our top armor is pocketed. This one was not. We said screw it. We'll run the heavier one.
Here we go.
Yeah. So it's not insignificant. Like
all right, pause that. Let me copy all of that, and then
I mean, we've never
using my
been
photographic
shy about this.
memory, taking 1,000 photos a second.
I've put pictures
Mag
of our
motors. Look at
internals
this
in the
mag.
Discord.
Hey, everyone, mag motors. I love it.
Yes.
That's only 16 gauge, really?
No, look at the wires with the wire marking on them. We don't do that.
It's almost like you know what you're doing.
There's some 12.
Oh,
That's the Zach
There's some
edition
12.
from this year.
Is that
That's
12?
Zach's-
Is that 12?
That's Zach's work right
labeling
there.
your shit, that's the real cheating.
Yeah.
It's 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. They got a pre-charge. They got a pre-charge circuit.
I'm not
That's
liking
it.
that switch though.
Yeah.
You don't like the switch?
Bunch of traders.
Unacceptable.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Maybe the Whyachi switches need to evolve.
If I said
No.
No,
Yeah.
they
Speed
don't.
controllers need
Speed
to evolve so they don't have
controllers need to.
massive caps on them for no apparent
Okay.
reason.
Here's
Okay,
a
well-
good question. Why do brush the speed controllers have two big old caps on them?
Dude, I've covered this with you.
If you have the battery capacity, though, it's acting the same as a capacitor would.
Yeah, but the capacitor can
You're not-
respond a lot faster than your battery
Yeah,
can.
it's,
Okay,
it's
where's
all
the-
about speed.
Where's the electronics guys? Somebody explain it to Drunk Reese.
Fight.
Fight.
You're
but yeah,
talking
so this is-
milliseconds here.
Hey, Dick,
Yeah,
I do have
you're
a
talking less
comment.
than milliseconds, basically.
I do have a comment on the Witch Doctor match, though.
Oh, there you go, folks.
Noise filtering. There it is. Thank you, Jameson.
JMO!
Yeah.
So let's say last week, Witch Doctor beats Minotaur. Does that mean Fusion should go up against Witch Doctor again? Would that have happened?
No, probably not.
I'm gonna
No,
guess no.
because-
That they would probably.
They would
do
have just
another.
seeded it differently.
Because seeding
Yeah.
doesn't matter. They pick their matchups, and then the seeding just works its way out.
I don't know why you were below Shatter anyway, Reese.
Yeah.
I thought you
Because
should have been 31.
Shatter
and
did really
Shatter
well
should be
this year. They had 3 really good losses.
So did you.
Yeah, that's
No,
fair.
You had
I
really good
disagree. I disagree. I had 3 really
Yeah.
bad losses.
No. The Witch Doctor fight was not a bad loss.
Yeah, that was pretty
They
good.
were all bad.
Okay, fair enough.
Every loss is bad.
That's that rookie
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the rookie talk.
5th-year
Fourth year
rookies.
rookie.
So is this the same puncture? Or is this a different spot?
It's all the same. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the same spot. So that's the front of the thing. I think if you look at the rest of the pictures, there might be a little bit better of a view of the whole thing.
So
Oh.
once again, if they don't put Witch Doctor up against Fusion, then that means Fusion goes up against RIPtide.
Oh, now that would be a fiery match.
I think that'd be fun. Well, not fun for us. I don't really know.
Oh shit! What is this? Parts of their bot?
Yeah, so I don't know how this happened, but we pulled off the top plate and there was like the stick of UHMW in there.
Yeah.
So we kept it because
That's off their air quote ablative armor.
yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. All the gunk that ends up in your robot.
And
all
that's the front plate that we ended up replacing. 'Cause
Oh,
it was
so
kind of screwed up.
So if they had an opportunity to get more hits, they could have knocked you out eventually.
I mean, if they had hit us enough in the same spot, I'm sure the top plate would have given in eventually. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure they would have gone to our batteries or
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, Earthquake would have took you out too.
We would have just.
You could
I mean,
you
we-
could have
we were
waited
just
for one of
relying
them to come by.
Let me
were
ask
just
a
relying
question.
on-
Let me throw a question out there.
Yep.
So during all the shenanigans with the scales and all that, there was a section where they showed you, Stan, talking to one of the Shatter team, and the bit they showed was you saying, "Yeah, we made it lighter." Was that taken out of context, or were you joking, or what? What was your?
It's got to be
your side?
sarcasm.
So, yeah, that's a great question. Short answer, sarcasm. The long answer is, the team was put through a lot through the day, as you've heard. The testing upon testing and accusations and the pain of people believing that you were cheating. And here we are. We've been through all that, and now we're accused of doing something, before we went out.
Ooh.
Nice, right?
Yeah, that could have been bad.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Turns out, don't leave your wires that taut.
No.
Okay, sorry,
No.
I just fell apart.
Yeah, I want to hear more.
No.
That was a pretty picture, though.
It was a great.
Okay,
picture.
we're
so
moving.
after going through all that, and then we bring the bot back, take everything off. We're told, they're insisting we don't use the hammer as the prop. So after the whole day's events, we're sitting there, and it says 248, and they were obviously very emotional, which I understand. And at that point, we're tired, and I was just like, "Yeah, we magically made the bot lighter. That's your accusations.
I mean,
accurate."
So hang on. So my interpretation of it is that they were accusing you. They were implying that was a sign that you
that
were
was a
cheating.
problem that we
that
made
they
a
had
change.
changed
Yeah,
the
we
robot.
clearly there must have been some. This is proof that there's a change that you made. Like
Negative
it
2 pound robot.
It just was. it just wasn't gonna. It just seemed like it wasn't gonna stop. So
well, there's going to be people
it
who have
was,
joined.
it was sarcasm.
There's going to be people who have joined since then. The scales at BattleBots are not like they're two different scales. And one scale later this season, I believe, isn't it true that they said don't use that scale?
Yeah, no. The left scale was a pound lighter 60% of the time.
It depends so much based on where you put the robot. And we were playing. I mean, we obviously
how centered it is and everything.
Everyone plays with this, but like if you're trying to run at 250 and you put your robot down and it says 251, everyone just moves the robot back and forth on the scale and waits a bit, and then if it doesn't say 250 after that, you then go and change your robot or you pull bolts out.
Well, and Rachel made a point. There's not a benefit to being lighter.
See, I can't. I'm not even going to go there because like people,
you're faster. You're faster.
No.
Because people were saying the like craziest things about like, oh, maybe they had like a break on their weapon that like slowed it down for the
took it
history
out?
test, and then we took a break off. Like that was the best. Like that was somehow, but like it's just not even worth going there.
Yeah.
I mean, some robots.
Okay, go ahead.
They do run lighter. Like I think Hypershock has some configs where they lighten themselves up.
I think they actually mentioned on the episode that Hypershock was running lighter or something like that.
Yeah, running at like 230 or something like that.
Wasn't
wow.
Death Roll also.
Death Roll, yeah, Death Roll.
Yeah.
Jerry's favorite robot.
Hey, I like Death Roll.
I don't know. I feel like if you want to be competitive, you should just. I mean, like the best way to be competitive is design your robots for the limits of what you're allowed to do.
Right.
So
exactly.
Design your robots to be 250. And in our case, we showed up to BattleBots and we were like, oh shit, our screws are heavier than we thought. And then we had to start like losing bolts in places, and that's.
And if they don't change the rules the next year, you didn't try hard enough.
Well, here's one question that one like thought experiment that I had was, let's say somebody keeps asking you to reweigh, and eventually it says 251. Then what are you gonna do? Like, do we need to start weighing in at 250 at 248 just to be sure we're not gonna get drilled?
This is the like scary part. Is that if the scale had shifted the other way and we had weighed in at 252, it would have been over. Like I don't know what would have happened, because like I really don't know what would have happened. So like,
do you really need the packs for a whole match? I mean, do you need that kind of amp hours for the whole 3 minutes?
On drive, yes.
Yeah, but
on weapon, maybe not as much. But
you only fight 1 minute though.
Well, if we design it for 1 minute and then we go 3 minutes and run out of batteries, I don't want that to be our loss.
Well, I had a bot. I had to turn the spinner off if I went more than 30 seconds because I got knockouts in the first 30 seconds almost always. So I took the batteries off.
How many matches already ended in BattleBots where a bot actually ran out of gas?
I don't think that happens very often at
all.
I
don't know if I've ever seen it.
It'd be back in the days of petrol engine robots, wouldn't it?
No, I mean electric.
Well, probably back
electric.
in the NICAD. Back in the NICAD days would be the only time because now when they start on fire, if you
it's kind of saying that it's kind of saying we're putting too many batteries in our bots.
Seems like it, yeah.
Yeah.
The closest one I can think of is Valkyrie and Tantrum, where Tantrum dominated them the whole fight, and then in the last sort of less than a minute, Tantrum just died and gave up on its own. But I don't know if that was from batteries, but that's probably the closest example I can think of.
Hey, what did you guys think of Claw Viper this year?
I was really impressed.
Oh wow!
I really liked the robot. Yeah, I mean, it was impressive because I watched their little behind the bots video with Pete about how they work their magnets, and I was like, okay, writing it down.
Well, you've seen a lot of little bots fight, right? Really looks like a 3-pounder fighting because of the way it can stop and turn.
Yeah, in this match, there's one point where they drive like full speed and then pivot like instantly, and I was like, that is not a 250-pounder robot. That's crazy. So I thought it was really impressive. Yeah, I mean, I really like the robot. And the lifter.
I'm surprised they didn't pause the match when the sign was caught in between them. That feels like
they like that sign getting wrecked.
Imagine if they allowed one more vert and he puts a vert on that thing.
Yeah, I mean, he wouldn't have the weight for his full revolt drive if he did, but it would be crazy.
That's a good point.
And then you
Yeah,
just
but
have
how big of a
Dill
spinner does he
for
really
better.
have? He's
Yeah,
probably
it'd be
got
like
40 or 50 pounds in that lifting mechanism. You could probably put a 20, 30-pound weapon on there and be okay.
he could do like the big Dill route, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they put like a little spinner that still hits back the punch. Yeah.
And not to take, I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Matt Catter here because they do really good work there. What's going on here? Oh yeah, Scorpios. Yeah, they do get the two side pulls off, but that don't mean anything.
It looked
There's
like
the
the
second
big bot was humping the small bot.
Do you know why they died here? I didn't actually watch this match.
I think they tapped out. Diane started smacking the
tapped out
glass.
and then burned up.
Really?
Maybe
They tapped out and burned up.
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah,
What
he
is
starts
doing?
smashing
Oh, this is
the
over.
glass,
Okay, so we got through it.
getting them to
Well,
stop.
the scales, it's more of what you'd call guidelines than actual rules, right?
So what rule are they going to make? You know, BattleBots, after a controversy, they just make a rule. What rule are they going to make
The code of conduct, I
to
guess.
fix this?
Well, I think they might do a tap out button.
It's possible. I don't think they
Yeah.
will, solely because like
Just launches a towel into the.
If they had a
I just
tap out
don't see
button
them-
with me at least, because my bot doesn't damage as much, I would still hit him. Doesn't matter. Take a tap out, I'm still gonna hit him. I already do it now as it is. But
Jake,
as a spinner,
you keep
it's a little
talking
bit
like
different.
that, they'll make you a judge one day.
I hope I would at least get paid to be there then.
Get a star
No Star Wagon.
trailer.
Don't
Right.
forget the Star
You should be
Wagon.
a referee as well. Just be a referee.
Just do it all, yeah. Get it right up in there.
What about the other shenanigans? The multiple weights, the tip speeds. Are they going to do some sort of
It's too
changes,
warm.
procedure changes maybe for that?
I mean, Shadow requested. I mean, everything the Shadow requested was in their rights to do it. It was
Yeah.
just, you know.
But how many times is it until you're, being a dick doing it?
I think that at some point, like, I think that unless they can say, hey, I think they changed their robot, and like, look, or something like that, and if there's not anything like. If there's nothing actually consequential or something like that that would indicate that someone changed their robot, I don't think they're gonna. I think production's just gonna tell you no. Like, I don't see it happening where you can just like repeatedly ask for a reweigh without suspecting anything.
Otherwise, this could turn into shenanigans itself.
Yeah.
Like next year, somebody, I'll make you weigh in 5 times. I don't care.
Yeah, why
Just
not
make you do it.
every time? Yeah.
Punish you with the process.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Especially when they're already like flustered and trying to get the bot done at the very end, like they're still in the test box working on it. It's like, yeah, you're gonna weigh in. Yeah, you're gonna weigh in.
We've
That's what
kind
they
of
could do.
gotten
Instead
like
of,
punishment with the process situation before, where like it's sort of like known Hydra sits there.
Ice the Hydra.
There's a pressure. Yeah, they're icing the Hydra. There's a pressure element. We've had teams being like, no, this thing's not working. This thing's broken, and they're not really working on it. They push it back as far as they can with Hydra
Which
sitting
team?
ready. Like this
Hydra has always been ready to fight. Is the thing.
Right.
See,
So-
the thing is, we should clear this up right now. You cannot ice the Hydra. It's not pressurized to full pressure. It builds its own pressure under battery power. So you're not gonna like. It's not like a CO2 or an air powered bot that's.
But we
That
could
high
potentially lose a little air pressure and basically the air spring.
Yeah, but there was an attempted icing the Hydra on this season, and right before we went to the box, Jake was like, "I'm gonna top off," and the safety guy was like, "Yep, okay." So it doesn't really work when the pressurizing the tanks that we use are like on the way to the box. Works a little less well, but yeah, there was definitely a season where at least one team was like, we're just going to keep pushing it back. We're just going to go as far back as we can go with it. They were working on it, I guess, and then they didn't really make meaningful changes. Suddenly everything worked. We were like, great, put them in the box.
We lost Weasel
Tell you what
again.
could end up happening. So what could end up happening is, so like this year they introduced your appeal. You get one appeal, but you keep it if you win. Next year you get one challenge your opponent to be re-inspected again before the fight.
Well, you just get
one fight me in the parking lot. You get one parking lot fight per season.
Yeah, one fist fight per team per season.
I've never got the urge to hit anybody yet.
No.
Being so much of a dink there.
Certainly
So.
not.
That'll change when I'm there. Don't worry, Jake.
No, that's mostly because people want to hit you.
I heard RIPtide needs more guys on their team, right?
We were. Oh my god. I
Dick
think one of
and
our
Chuck
fights.
were close one time.
If y'all have extra people at any point during BattleBots, send them over, please. I don't think you do, but hey,
No,
just
we
send them
definitely
over.
don't.
We got tools.
We got
hey,
Trevor.
oh, I know.
We got Trevor. He will film you porking a hooker in your hotel room.
I remember this last season. I went up and I asked Zach for like tape or something, and the look that you gave me was like clearly you were in the middle of something because you were like the look you gave me was like, if you don't bring this back, I will help you. Like, okay, I'm coming back. I'm coming right back, dude. I swear to God. So like, I mean, that just goes to show like how short-handed like everybody is at all times, especially like when you actually get into the tournament. It's like all hands on deck.
One of the fights we were preparing for, we had, I think, literally a like 5-person crew total. So it's me, Ethan, Stan, Zach, who else? Ian probably. Ian, yeah. And that was the whole crew, and it was like it was one of the matches, and it was so stressful because it's really nice having more people.
You just gotta chill with one guy doing all the work. It's a lot simpler.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Come on, Tiny Hands. Is it easier when you just have to work on fusion the whole time?
I do. Yeah, we do have. Well, you just like you go off to the corner, you do what you have to do. I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing something, and
Me?
Hydra just gets done. So we just sort of like unless you're like someone press wheels, someone do this, and then we'll do it. But yeah, really, Jake works on Hydra and Reese works on Fusion, and Fusion has more space for more hands, not because it is bigger, obviously, but because there's a lot more to do because it explodes a lot.
Yeah.
So having like 3 pairs of hands in there is a welcome addition when it's a full rebuild situation.
So we're
Almost
thinking
every fight.
We're thinking the 4 matchup fights for Hydra next season. At least 3 of them. One's it's going to be Riptide, Tombstone, and Fusion.
Oh yeah, they do. I feel like they want to put teams against themselves. I feel like that's like a fun little thing that they want to try. I mean,
it's not going to happen. We're not going to allow it.
You're just
not going to be. It's not going to be a thing.
Can we put an Udder Gun sticker on the bottom of Riptide if that happens?
Listen, there is 60 other bots it could go against. There's no reason it has to go against Hydra. I don't want to destroy Hydra before the tournament. Okay.
We're gonna start this again, huh?
Jake, how often
you just start on fire, right?
How often does Hydra actually get damaged? Like damaged enough to where you're like, oh shit, I might.
Like legit.
To like where you're like, oh shit,
like one time last season.
Really? What was that? What was that fight? Which one was that?
What was it?
Tantrum.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that monster tantrum fight.
No, it definitely
knocking
wasn't
that half a pound of titanium.
Jake, it was glitch.
Jake, it's usually like something like internal.
No,
that,
like... see, that one wasn't really damaging. I literally put a new tip on, right? That was like a simple fix. It was somebody who hit my side. I don't remember. Front corner. One season.
I've only been there 2 years. I don't recall a time compared to like Fusion where like sometimes there's like some pretty massive damage.
Well, who'd you fight this year? Cream pie.
Yeah, that's about how they roll. Yeah, sure.
I think I forget what fight it was.
So you fought the same one Witch Doctor did.
Rotator was probably the hardest fight you had this year, and it was your first one when they had a bunch of trouble, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
What?
Guys, I'm probably going to take myself to bed now, so I'll say good night.
Hey, we'll see you later, Tom.
See you later.
Thanks for bringing in the king.
Congrats on
Tom.
your
Thank you
grandpa.
again for having
Tom.
the rip. Yeah.
Yeah, have a
Make
good
sure you
one.
Yes,
go
sir.
out and get one of them Prince Albert piercings.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
I'll do my best.
In honor of
Get
the
a tat
coronation.
of your new king.
No, I'll just quickly say the RIPtide guys, it was great chatting with you and great having you on. Thank you for answering my questions and being here,
thank you
and
for the
thank you
questions.
guys all for having me on again. See you on the next one.
Thank you, Tom.
My
See ya.
pleasure, Tom.
Thank
Hey,
you.
Tom.
Good night, guys.
You know what? I'm gonna finish. It was glitch. Okay.
Mm.
Sure.
Which is
We'll say
cool.
glitch was the biggest match. I had to change the tip on the flipper, which is a
Oh,
pin,
yeah.
and then because I had the locked up drive, I had to change out the drive the one time.
Yeah,
That was
counts.
the most damage it took.
That's all you
Did
need.
you have to take out the package?
For that
It's
drive wheel,
always the
no.
out package.
I did
Come
not
on.
have to take out the
Come
package.
on. Then it's probably.
Careful.
I'm sure it happened already, but okay, never mind.
Well, I take out the package occasionally when stuff happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, but there was
I think it's
no
usually-
damage to the shell. I've been using my favorite shell. See, I have a favorite shell of the bot, and I try to use this one solely.
Yeah.
This season was the first time that I ran into the, this is nice to
Nobody
have a
gets to
second
touch
bot
it.
in case this one doesn't quite work. So then I actually went to the second frame. But otherwise,
Well,
it's like I stick with just one.
Your frame is welded, no? Like
It's a welded, bent up tie frame. Yes.
It's
so that's the
monocoque.
thing, is that like we have everything is just parts screwed together. So like if you put it together right, it's the exact same chassis.
Well, they're technically the same weldments. They were kind of fixtured the same, but I mean, there's subtle differences.
I mean, we've had
famous last words. Yeah,
You get a little titanium warpage here and there, a little different in one frame than the other.
Oh, the kitty.
Ooh, cat check.
Cat check.
This is
have to
Mama
go-
Kitty. Mama Kitty here.
Parts,
just
you're
had
leaving
a-
too?
No, I said
Oh.
for the cat check, I'd have to go.
Oh,
wrangle
you gotta
mine.
go. I gotcha.
She just had five kittens.
Is this you telling me I should leave?
No. I see
Oh,
you
you
light
gotta
checker
go,
though.
Parks. Well, I'll see you, dude. Well,
That's how we get you out of
gotta
here.
leave. I get it.
Chat, do we have anything else that is pertinent? Or for the RIPtide team in general, is there any last remarks that you guys have that we didn't cover currently?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Stone Cold
Fucking
Killer.
got me.
Angry kitty.
Fuck.
Well, let's just go to the chat. Chat, how many people changed their minds about RIPtide? What do you think? I seen at least
Better be
one
all of
person who changed their mind.
Unless you
definitely
had an
did.
opinion right
Did they
For the
plead their
worst.
case? Did we give them good case? Because honestly, we're almost backing them. Almost. This much.
Well,
Hey, we're gonna
Villain
be
Jake
pitted right
is
next to him again.
Angel Reese is still.
I
against
would be
them
more than happy to
cheaters.
fit next to them again.
Just got to put that out there. We're split. We're split on them.
Okay.
Actually, while everyone's responding, I want to say a couple things. First, to you guys, the Whyachi guys, when we were going through everything, I know that you were told to spy on us, so we're not holding any of that against you.
Yeah,
By the way, that's totally fine. But no, you talked to us a lot and gave us a lot of support and talked a lot of sanity, and we were really grateful. We didn't really know you guys that well, so we're really grateful that that you did that, and also that after your spying and figuring out who we were, to have these guys on, because these guys are really a collection of some of the best humans. They're individually their own Vex champions from back in the day, or business leaders with a lot of integrity. So it was very hard to see how things were portrayed, that these guys with great integrity, intelligence, and are working hard and sacrificing their business time, their schoolwork to come to BattleBots to do what they love amongst the community they love, and usually an environment where everybody's sharing and taking care of each other. And that season was really brutal. So thank you for giving them the opportunity to be able to be known and to get the truth out. Nathaniel wasn't here. Brandon wasn't here. Ian, Leah, I hope I'm not missing anyone. And Michelle.
Ethan.
My wife, and Ethan.
Ethan.
Yeah. And
Almost forgot about him.
That's absolutely. And Ethan. So so thank you for setting some things straight. We're very grateful, and also
It's been a pleasure, and don't forget, I did do some stuff for you guys later on that I signed the signature for you. So don't forget about that.
What?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Not forgotten. Not forgotten.
We'll have to come back to that later on in the season.
Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
Oh, actually, I know what he's talking about. Thank you.
Yeah, there it is, Dan.
Yeah, I could go get that, but I can't.
Hey,
The
we
banner
covered,
story.
We covered this
What's
already.
the banner? Oh, the Whyachi banner.
Yeah, that was funny.
I'll clip it later.
That was us asserting our dominance, and they didn't have a banner to actually do anything with anyway. So
No, it's fine if you guys.
You gotta
wanna
feel
cover our
people out,
banner,
you know, right?
But we're gonna instantly be 20 minutes later 6 feet higher. So
we got 2 more polls. We got 2 more polls. We'll bring 3 next time. So
I think next time we should just put up a ladder and hang it directly from the ceiling. And
Yeah.
put like
Yeah.
a giant arrow down. Just RIPtide.
just some grappling hooks up there, and then you can like lasso them up.
Oh yeah.
Couple drones.
Oh
Get
yeah.
a scissor lift, you cowards! Come on.
We're not allowed to use heavy
Hey, if
equipment.
you're gonna
around
let
there.
us borrow one, I'll take it. But that's
Heck,
up to you guys.
We couldn't even flip the breaker on the boxes without supervision.
Oh,
hey, do we want to do we want to shut this stream down when we say goodbye here to these guys? I mean, I'm good with 10. I'm good with 10:30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, okay.
No, I'm good.
one quick thing
All
too.
right.
I see a couple people like apologizing in the
Rip
chat.
it up.
Yeah, and what I would say is, I get it. You know, I get it, and I love that there's so much passion in BattleBots, and let there continue to be passion, and people are going to have opinions, and I think I think all that's great. So there's no apologies. You didn't know everything, I guess. So,
yeah, I mean,
you know,
The fans,
until you
the
listen. So
hey,
exactly.
the fans are
build on
crazy. You just need to persuade them to your side.
Yeah, be the right
thing
side,
that,
right?
the thing that people lose track of sometimes is that BattleBots is a TV show, and they're going to do all the things that TV shows do. It's actually, I would say, a TV show first, a robot competition second,
Absolutely.
maybe even
Yeah.
third.
Yeah.
And when you lose track of that, then you start losing track of all sorts of things.
It also
Yeah.
should be mentioned that different people are going to have different perspectives. Like I do not believe that Adam is going to have the perspective that the RIPtide team has, and I expect them to have a different story, and they're going to see it from a different perspective. And for them, it is probably a completely legitimate perspective. So you can have that.
It's what they know. It's what they
Yeah.
know.
Well, there was a lot. I mean, he said there was a lot of people telling him things, and after a while, it was hard for him to disbelieve, and he wanted to check. He had all the reason to do that. It's understandable. It became
hard to fight the rumor mill.
really long, and it became really painful. But hopefully, we'll just keep learning as we go.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't know if we've mentioned this already, but like from in terms of like post-fight interview stuff, like we absolutely know that like our team should not have called Adam anything or like talked about him like that on air. Like in hindsight, it's of course obvious. It's just.
But can you control that in the moment?
See,
I mean, really.
Sid, I see that's the difference. I don't know if I like the way the show is presented in that way because that's how he felt at the time.
Exactly.
And other builders feel the same kind of things, and they don't say it because the show is, they're trying to sanitize the show. I like our streams are not the same as like every other.
It's
BattleBot
rather
stream.
pure in its performance.
I think some people prefer that, but like, I mean, and I think that like the fact that we're so unfiltered in our confidence and stuff like that is good. I just think that when it comes to like other people, and like discussing other people, we should probably 100% be more.
Yeah. I totally get that. I'm not trying to discount your perspective. I'm just saying that I think that sanitizing the show in such a way in which everybody pretends that they're just really super happy about everything else that happened. I mean, it's unrealistic. I mean, there's teams that don't like each other, and there's teams that have an issue during.
Super sad when you lose, especially if there's something you could have done better.
and you have no time to think. There's like a camera in your face,
and it's one take.
like
You have
super
not,
quick.
yeah, and you haven't lost the adrenaline. Is the
Right.
is the crazy part to me. Like I turn around and I'm looking at the camera and I'm like my hands are shaking still and like my heart's beating
and
really
Tiny
quickly.
Hands is almost passing out every time.
Yeah, hands and feet going totally numb. That doesn't end until we're
We actually have to
outside, and
force
I'm
her to
like,
back
"Whoa."
up, so that her
When?
nervousness doesn't like creep forward.
Oh,
on
I
us.
do that myself now. I do that
You know,
myself.
she's shaking her hands to get her blood to flow.
I'm like, you can see it in some of the shots. I'm like jumping.
I love
by
it.
The...
Like I don't want you to lose that ever. I want that up there. I want energy. I want, even though I might seem like, I kind of
Eeyore,
Mr. Eeyore here. We're gonna take it slow and make our way. I love that energy.
Okay, fair enough. This question's been asked over and over, and it's fair. They're looking for an answer.
We'd win because why would I ever say that we would lose? And what would our strategy be? I don't know. They're really good drivers. Probably just like
Go at 'em.
the little classic RIPtide slide and like try and clip a corner.
Spin fast and
spin up quickly.
going slow is actually the way to go.
Really? Well, I need to talk to Reese then.
Don't talk to Reese. That's a horrible idea.
Hey, it works. I start on fire,
minute
so I got a little separate shit going on here. All right, it does work.
So let's shut this down at 10:30. I know that there's lots of viewers, but I mean we've kind of beat this, right?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So we want to thank all the fans. We got 137 right now. Thank you.
Wow.
We want to thank Stan, Sid, Zach for all coming on and giving us their point of view and this free space
appreciated,
to
guys.
flaunt their wildness.
I have one last serious question.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay, one more.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Can you please next season stop working for like 30 minutes just to like hang out with us down by the fire at the hotel?
Yeah.
Oh,
Just like stop being such fun.
Me and Nathaniel came to the hotel like downstairs, and we turned around and we got such icy looks from some of those guys, and we were like,
"It'll never be from us."
All right.
Come to
Next
my house,
time,
yeah.
I will sit down right next to you guys.
We'll do
We're
it.
from
Plenty of Taco Bell to
Wisconsin.
share.
We welcome anybody who drinks booze. So
Or doesn't. I don't know.
Well,
I
even if
shouldn't-
you don't, yeah.
I shouldn't go then.
Jake
Yeah.
doesn't.
This is going to irritate everyone, but hey, RIPtide, don't close your browsers. We're going to talk to you after the stream ends.
Okay.
Hey, we'll see you guys. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, thank you so
God
much.
bless.
See
Thank you
later.
guys. You guys are awesome.
Nice work, everyone.
Right.
Nice work.
broadcast.
We're gonna need to
I-
reenact this for
I-
next week, though.
I am
Really
signing
I
off.
liked it.
I love
Not yet,
Scotch.
Do you even
No,
know what
no,
you just
I'm
said?
off. I'm off. This
Oh,
is too
Great
much.
Odin's Raven.
Great Odin's Raven.